What's up, everybody? What's up, dear Jonhson Country? And also, I'm live over here on my phone on Rattletrap 1776 Nation, which is my backup Facebook page for my 1776 Nation, since we seem to get a little bit more viewership right now because obviously the libtards over at Facebook, they can't handle laws and orders. They have bylaws, which are weird. They have bylaws that they go by that are under state and federal laws, but the libtards can't seem to handle the laws and orders, kind of like what we're doing with Dear Jonhson Country. So the reason why I came on the Rattletrap 1776 Nation is to bring everybody into what I'm also doing with country music. So I'm the very first country music artist in country music history and also Billboard history to expose the whole system of country music. It's time that it happens. It's time that everybody gets involved with this, especially you country music fans out there. You have had no influence on country music for the last, well, you could argue the last 34 years when it happened in 1990, but 2012 is really went snowball headed for hell, as the saying is, in 2012 when the Billboard chart changed especially. So this is for all the record labels out there. I'm going to give a little back history on what happened to me, and then we'll start doing segments of different portions of all the woke idiots who have the IQ of roly-polies and tires. Most of your head executives, they didn't go to college. A lot of them, some of them did, and not all of them are bad, ironically. So some of these guys and gals out there are going to get the brunt because of what their idiot colleagues did to people like me. But it's just time that it happens, because once again, it is something that we can control. Everything is in your control, but it's been out of your control in a different manner. And they did exactly what they wanted to do. They tried to take a family-oriented genre of music, and they've done what? They've hooked your children with sex, alcohol, drugs, and party culture. How any of you are country music fans today, and you listen to this trash they call music, that's country music, it's all digital. It's horrendous. It's all about, they can't sing a song without the word whiskey in it somehow, but it's all on a loop. What they call it, I call it doo-doo on a loop, because it's all crap on a loop. It's not real music. It's not steel guitars gripping your heart. It's not the fiddle coming in and giving you goosebumps, It's all trash and garbage. And then things like Till You Can't. A lot of people, that's a great song that I used in the book as an example. The song Till You Can't, first off, the artist didn't write it. All right, so there's that. And then that song was going to be a hit no matter what singer sang it. Male, female, doesn't matter. It's a universal song. All right, and it was going to be a hit no matter what, because why? Hit songwriters wrote it. All right, so see, there's a lot of portions that a lot of country music fans didn't know about. All right, some don't care, but I think you should care for this reason. If music is universal, and if music touches and soothes your soul, like I hear everybody say, which is true, but if it's true, then that must mean what? We need transparency, honesty, integrity. And then you must understand there is a system that operates all this. There's a system there. It's a system in place. Well, all of my life, well, I won't say that. All of my career, I've heard all kinds of fans say things like, well, country radio doesn't matter anymore. I've heard the Billboard chart doesn't matter. I've heard, well, I just love great music, and you focus too much on the Billboard. And every single person that they name that they're a fan of are only top 20 artists. From where? Billboard. They wouldn't have a hit without Billboard country airplay. So there seems to be a hang-up out there with a lot of people with TV shows, Billboard Hot 100, Billboard Hot 200. You got all these different charts out there. The only chart that the major record labels use in country music to score their artist hits on is Billboard Country Airplay. It's that plain and simple. If major labels were signing artists based on Hot 100 and 200, they wouldn't have staple artists. They would get rid of the top 20. They wouldn't have staple artists. So what I'm showing people is what made these staple artists your favorite artists. It wasn't because you discovered it. It had nothing to do with you. It's been crammed down your throats. They told you what to like. They've told you what to love. You don't love top 20 artists because you discovered them, because you had this power and you go, oh, I discovered this artist today. What they never counted on was me. Now, I'm not the only unsigned artist that's ever been on Billboard Country Airplay. However, I'm the only unsigned artist that's been on Billboard Country Music Airplay, Billboard Country Airplay, the top chart in the whole. There's nothing past Billboard Country Airplay. It's kind of like winning a Grammy. Once you won a Grammy, there's nothing past it. There's nothing past Billboard Country Airplay. Once you've had a hit on Billboard Country Airplay, there's nothing past it. It's the top chart in the whole freaking genre. There's nothing past it. Now, there's nothing wrong with certain artists having a Billboard Hot 100 and a Hot 200. Not saying there's something wrong with it. I'm saying that why would you waste your time trying to build a fan base when Hot 100 and Hot 200 are based on album sales, physical sales, digital sales? It's based on digital sales, especially now. Why would you waste your time trying to spend all these years building a base when you're going to need X number of that base to download a song within a certain algorithm to do what? To chart on Billboard Hot 100 and 200. Why waste your time when you can go straight to the major record labels chart? You don't need to waste your time down here doing that when you can go straight to the top of the chart and we can hit these major record labels where it counts. Now, there's been two artists in country music history, two of them that I know of that could have absolutely roasted country music, major record labels, and the whole industry. But guess what they were? They were cowards. They were all about the money. They were bought out. They were paid to shut up, and they were paid mega money. That's not going to happen here. No, if anybody on these news feeds knows me, you know good and well I am going to stick a giant corkscrew up the rear ends and take a welding gun and weld it up their asses. All of the major record labels, you hear me right now. The last meeting I was in October 2020, I told you major label executive, and your little minion assistant, when I had no social media numbers, nobody backing me. I didn't have hardly any numbers, but I'm on your Billboard Country Airplay. You had the audacity to ask me what are my streams, what are my revenues, and what are my social media numbers, when you know dang well the only way that I was on the Billboard Country Airplay chart was I knew all the freaking secrets. But you called a bluff, which probably was a good bluff in one way, because in country music history, no country music artist ever blew up after they were on Billboard because of the momentum. But you should have counted on me because of my resume. I've worked with numerous hit artists, numerous hit songwriters, numerous hit producers, and also former major record label executives. And these executives that I met with knew my resume was extensive. You should have never let me walk out of your office treating me like I just moved to town last week with a dog named Fargo. All right? That's why I will spend every breath I have exposing all the major record labels, the monopoly, and the conglomerate. And don't say that it can't happen. Don't say, that's what y'all told me basically sitting in your freaking offices. You're telling me an artist, unsigned artist, who went around all the labels, went around all you labels and all you publishers. I don't play a single writer. I play maybe one writer's round every 2 years. I don't play writer's round because you have all these current new age signed songwriters and writers rounds, and they do what? They steal all your lines. They steal your melodies. They don't care if you've had hits before or not. They'll steal your lines because they're currently signed writers. So every single songwriter and every artist out there, you don't have to play one single gig. You don't have to go on the road. You don't have to play a single songwriter round. You don't have to waste your time building a fan base. You can go straight to Billboard Country Music Airplay without a major record label or without any of those entities. You save time, you save energy, you save sanity, you save your sanity from all the cesspool of drama around Nashville with all those bottom feeders around there, especially you female songwriters and you female artists out there, all the males that blow smoke up your dress, they're trying to get in your panties, right? That's all they want. Let's just be honest, that's all they want because they have studios and they have, they're good on Pro Tools and Logic and they can work the board and all this good stuff. Majority of them want to get in your panties. They'll lie to you. They'll say everything that you want to hear and you need to hear, and you might even get to record some stuff, but you're paying a bad price. You're paying a bad price. And you better not ever let me find out any one of you ever makes it, because I know one right now that's on the award shows. If I ever find out that any of you females are doing this bullshit women empowerment and women stuff, but you slept your way to the top, you're going to be right on the exposed list. Because I know a couple of them that did it. I know a couple of them that's done that. All right? And what do? They forget about everybody that helped them down here. They forget about everybody. I know one right now. She screwed me over. She screwed another buddy over. He went to court over it and settled in court. But I didn't get a finder's fee. It's that dirty, ladies and gentlemen. So you got to understand there is a system in place. It's not as big as you think it is. It's really not that big. There's only a handful of major record labels. Only a few. There's only a few key people in all these spots. They normally stay in these spots for 10, 15, 20 years. That is rare turnover. And then they let a guy like me walk in their offices, sit down, and they want to ask, what are your streams? Which are I want to say it. They're crap right now. The streaming is all controlled by them. They have free interns. They have interns galore from Belmont and MTSU. They use them like little rag dolls. They got them all in there skewing all these numbers. All right? And then maybe 5 of these out of maybe 7 or 8 classes from Belmont or MTSU, maybe 5 will have a job in the music industry when they get their wasteful music degree. If you're going to college right now for a music degree, you're wasting your time. You're wasting all your money and time. Every single person, except for 1 or 2 that I've worked with in my career that got me where I am, had a music degree. And only maybe 2 of them had a degree, period. Most of them are good old boys. They're great writers. They're great producers. They don't have a degree from anywhere. It's a good old boy system. And it's just like Kid Rock said. He said, I've tickled a few balls in my lifetime. This is Kid Rock now. I'm going to have to be grotesque a little bit. I won't say all the rest. I'll bleep it out. But he said, I've tickled a few balls in my lifetime, but I have never kissed an ass, and I've never sucked a you-know-what. Now, I'm telling you right now, country music, the whole secret to it is a few people. It's a few people, And if you say that country music radio does not matter anymore, God love you, like the Southern saying, God love you, but you're a fool. And I've heard that from many, many, many fans, especially from my ignorant hometowns. God love them, right? God has to love them because I don't, right? I love them in God, and that's the only way I love a lot of them. Because you can shake some people, and you can tell them that their favorite artist just murdered somebody, and they're going to find a way to make it right and justify it. They're going to find a way. It's amazing how many people claim to be conservatives, claim to be patriots, claim to be, oh, I would do that. No, you wouldn't. If you're a patriot right now, and if you're a conservative, and you still support top 20 country music artists, I question your morals. Because my book shows everything, from the top to the bottom. Everything. The money trail, where it goes, how it's allocated. And then they screw over people like me, and I'm not the only one. So all these other unsigned artists on Billboard, they're afraid to say something because they're afraid to get blackballed. And like I say in my book, one of my key phrases in the book, you cannot be blackballed from a rigged system. The rigged system is the blackball. You're blackballed from the start. But because they're afraid to say something, I'm taking one for all the teams out there, and especially all the future aspiring artists, the ones who will listen. You're wasting your time, you're wasting your money, you're wasting your energy on a rigged system. It's rigged from the start. And if you're amenable, right? Amenable means if you can be bought, if you can be controlled, if you like to suck, you know what, like Kid Rock says, if you're amenable and if you're controllable, then you can probably get you a deal, right? But then what? That's why you see a lot of artists getting arrested. A lot of, not all of them, but some of them want out of the system. A lot of them want out. Because there's the record label executives, and they're bad enough, but then there's these guys behind them that you never see. Those are some of those that I know. Luckily, a couple of them that I know are good people. And when they took me up the chart in Billboard with peanuts compared to millions, when they took me up the chart, they had a lot of strings that were being pulled. They screwed over a lot of people to make this happen. And I say they. Everybody that made it happen, not just them, are the ones that screwed over the system. All right? They gave me 2 records that will annihilate major record labels if you people will take action. And it ain't just buying the book. Buying the book ain't taking action. Buying the book is not the taking action part. Taking action will be when you stop going to all these top 20 artists, their concerts. If you will take a subscription of Billboard, because now they've dwindled it down. I don't know when they changed it. It's had to be in the last 6 months. But when they changed, they used to show you only top 20 published. That's why when people say, oh, I can't find Derek Johnson's song on the Billboard, because you're a fool. I'm going to say that first off, all you that looked it up, that are good people, kudos. Thank you for trying. But for all the idiots that came on my pages, there's one particular person I'm got to roast your freaking ass, all right? Because my dear sweet mother, all right, my dear sweet mother understands publicity. My dear sweet mother understands hatred and negativity to a degree. But here is a lady who came on my page, all right, and in the comment box, right, she puts this long comment up of how I'm a grifter, how I'm a fraud, and how you can't find any of my music on Billboard or anything like that. All right, and here she was in a picture with her son, who had just graduated basic training, and her picture with her son looked just like the picture with me and my mother when I graduated basic training. And there's my mother, who would compliment any mother out there and say, congratulations to your son. I understand that feeling. We're proud of our soldiers. And there you were on the freaking comment box, sitting there pissing on my mother. Because your dumbass don't know anything about how country music works because you're not in country music. So screw you, all you record labels, and screw you, all you major publishers out there, and screw all you haters because you're freaking ignorant. It's like the old saying about if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. And because you're such a dumbass and you don't want to contribute to society, you come on and you make it full-blown picture right in the comment box that you're a freaking moron and idiot. That's what you look like. Because I'm the very one who can help every single artist, every single songwriter, producer, publicist, manager, whatever you're trying to be in country music, I'm the very one that can show you how it all works. It's a rigged system. I'm telling you right now, and there's someone else I want to roast really bad. I want to roast someone so bad, I discovered something else recently. All right? I write 99% of my music. I've produced an artist out there who all of a sudden, help me, Lord. All of a sudden in the comment box is entertaining some of the hate group that I've already roasted, one with the United States Air Force through JAG and Office of Special Investigations. So, kudos. I wrote every song and I produced the whole record. I suggest that you probably better stop doing what you're doing. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to roast every ass out there. I'm going to roast you. I'm going to roast you. I'm telling you right now, I know everything. I'm that guy that probably would need protection. If I knew the mafia was still in music, I would need the protection. Because there used to be a mafia in music. That's how people got paid when there was an actual mafia in music. And you can ask any old school guy about the music mafia. You can ask about it. All right? I need that. But we're good now because you got a bunch of woke sissies who don't care. The major record labels, let Spotify come in. Spotify, and all of you country music fans out there who subscribe to Spotify, you're screwing us over as well. All right, but then again, you got to get on Spotify because guess what? Nobody else is buying CDs anymore. People are like, what's a CD? They don't even know what a compact disc is. And our vehicles have gone to what? Our vehicles, the auto dealers, everybody have all jumped into bed together. And I'm the very guy that's going up the top chart in the land. I know every secret from the top to the bottom. And Spotify, decimal point now, for every stream that you stream of music, the songwriter gets paid 0.0033 cents. So the only way that people can even make a decent living are the top 20 artists. So if you're a dreamer and you have a dream to be a singer, or your daughter or your son or your aunt, your uncle, whoever it is, however old they are, if they're in that, especially for mainstream, if they're in that age bracket that they can qualify for a record deal with the woke society, now they're only in their 20s. But still, if you have a daughter or a son out there and they're dreaming of being a singer, they have no chance. Because the system is rigged from the get-go. It's out of your control. You can do everything by the standard etiquette protocol, everything. Like me, I have hit artists, buddies. I have hit songwriters that I've written with. I have hit producers that's produced me before. I produce my stuff now. But I have all the top session musician players on my records that I've developed relationships with for 7 and 16 years. All right? That's all mine. Right? And then I have the top Billboard team in country music. Independent team. You can do everything the right way, be on the Billboard top chart, walk in a major record label, and they're going to ask you, what are your streams, what are your revenues, and what are your social media numbers? when you're sitting on their Billboard chart, they don't ask you, hey, well, we know how most unsigned artists get on the Billboard chart, but what did you do to get there? What did you and your team do? They didn't talk business. Oh, no, they didn't talk business. So if it's about a business, which it's supposed to be, why aren't they talking business to a guy who's sitting there with that lush, plush resume? Why aren't they talking business to me? They know who my team is. They know who everybody on my record is. All the same guys that play on my record play on theirs. So the last major record label meeting I was sitting in, all right, the last major record label meeting I was sitting in, they asked me that. But right before that, here's how a major record label here's how a meeting normally goes. All right, you have an agent who sets this meeting up. And it's normally set up about 2 weeks before or a week before. It just depends. All right, and they already know about you. They know who you are. All right, because you're not going to get through their email. First off, if you know their email, you're lucky. All right. And then them checking their email, you're double lucky. All right, so you got to already have something established pretty well to get in there. All right, so then if you're a songwriter, they ask for at least 10 of your best songs out of your catalog that you would play to anybody. If it's a major hit artist, major hit songwriter, well, a publisher really, not really a songwriter, but if you were trying to get rights with a new hit writer, you play your top 10 best songs, all right? No more. They don't need any more. So you're already, when you walk in that meeting, you're already sitting there, and they already know everything about you. They know your story. They know your resume. They know everything. So when you're sitting there, you know, they'll play the songs right in front of you, and you say, you know, they'll say, man, who'd you write this with? You know, and you say, oh, I wrote that with Jeffrey Steele, or you know, or you know, of course, and I have written with Jeffrey Steele, massive hit songwriter, who also, yeah, baby, that's a text message when I sent him the book was out, yeah, baby, all right. So massive hit songwriter. He's not just a small hit writer. He's a Hall of Famer, all right. And I've written a lot of Hall of Famers, but you know, so you're sitting there and they're going through and they're like, oh man. And here's what the major record label says. They go, dude, you get more rights with more hit writers than our artists and our songwriters do. This is what the last major record label said to me. You get more rights, get more rights set up, and you have more rights in a catalog than any artist we've ever worked with and songwriter we have on staff. Then they turn around and they'll say, have you ever considered a publishing deal? So I'm sitting there on the Billboard chart as an artist and a songwriter, which means double royalties. Now they're trying to steer me to being just a songwriter. You know what that means? They just want my talents as a writer. They don't want me as an artist. Right? Has nothing to do with your vocals. I'm sick and tired of that crap too. And if you don't like my vocals, then get the hell off my page. That's real simple. There was a lady the other day commented on the comment box. Once again, my mother reading. The lady's like, well, I don't really like his voice, but nothing. Get the hell out. Go. I'm not for everybody. That's fine. Why do you need to comment? Why did you need to comment? Because you wanted to put your 2 cents in. Well, because you put your 2 cents in, I can put mine in because it's my page. Get the hell off of it. Real simple. All right? So you have those kind of comments out there, ignorant comments. Ignorant. Willie Nelson can't sing. Bob Dylan definitely can't sing. But they are 2 hell of a writers that you've ever met in your life. If you've ever met them, or if you've met their music, you love their... So it doesn't matter. And a lot of you have gotten into this whole bullshit about, great vocals and great. If they got vocals, great. But 99% of artists don't even write their own music. So who's the real artist? And I love George Strait, and he was signed in a whole different era than what I'm talking about. Anybody before 1990 that was signed before 90, and some of those that were signed in the 90s, they were still in the old kind of system, and it had a lot of the old school still in the head positions during the 90s. But it's all changed, especially about right around 98, 99. That's when it really flipped heavily. So you're sitting there in a major record label, and that's what they ask you. They're like, dude, do you think I just moved to town last week with a doll named Fargo and a loaf of bread and vine of sausages? Are you serious right now? I'm on your Billboard chart. Now you're trying to steer me to a pub deal. I'm a double royalty for you. I'm a triple royalty, actually. I'm a United States veteran. In 2021, in 2020 and 2021, George Strait and I were the only two military veterans who had Billboard charting hits the whole chart year. He and I were the only two military veterans. And before that, there were me. So in 5 years' time, well, no, actually, let's go back to 2010 is what we looked up. All the way back to 2010, me, George Strait, James Otto, Jamie Jonhson, and Craig Morgan were the only five military veterans to have Billboard country airplay hits in country music. And you can really go back before then because there wasn't, those are the same artists were there. Craig was there. James Otto, I think, had already had his deal around 2006 or somewhere in there. Jamie Jonhson. And they prey, P-R-E-Y, they prey on the military community like nobody's business. All their artists, all their songwriters, and I know a lot of the songwriters, they prey on the military community like nobody's business. But do they sign military veterans to record deals? No, they don't. And it has nothing to do with talent. It has nothing to do with any of that. It's a monopoly and a conglomerate system. They can take any Joe Schmuck or Susie Schmuck off the street, put hit songs on them, put hit production on them, and then, boop, straight through the country radio system. I know that you fans out there are having a meltdown. Some of you fans are going to have a meltdown. Well, it's tough crap. This is how it works. See, we had an artist we were working with back in 2010, and he was the most hard-headed son of a gun. You wanted to take a hammer and slap him right on the head with it. He kept saying, I knew that song was a hit song when it came out on the radio. You knew it was a hit song when it came out on the radio because they wouldn't put it on radio if it wouldn't have been a hit song. That's how simple this is, but that's the simple mindset that you got to flip. When a hit songwriter writes a song, here's how it works. When a hit songwriter, a signed songwriter, or even some of us, I've had what they call a hold. So when I write a song, I've pitched it before to major artists because I know a lot of their producers. They ain't going to cut no songs now, which is fine. I don't care because you all need to be exposed. All right, because you're hypocrites. You talk here, and it really should be right out your butt. Because you say a lot of stuff, you don't mean it, and you say a bunch of rhetorical stuff, and it never goes anywhere. And you screw over your cash cows. You screw over the best ones. All right? If the system would go back to what it was in the 90s and the 80s and the 70s, all these dudes would have long-term success with long-term and longevity of artists. But it's not that way anymore. They want 3 to 5 years, and they're done. All right. Well, so when you're a signed songwriter, or even if you're a former hit songwriter and you still have, once again, the connections, when we write a song, you got to have a good demo down to it. You send it over to the producer. All right. The producer likes it. He'll put it on hold, and he'll tell you 9 out of 10 times, hey, I love this. Put it on hold. Don't play it to anybody else. Well, a lot of times what happens, you don't play it to anybody else, and then they don't end up keeping the song for the record, and then you wasted all that time. You could have been pitching it somewhere, but you still play the game. So if they cut the song, then it becomes part of the album or a single or whatever. They're doing a lot of singles today. But established artists can do albums because they're top 20 artists and everybody knows them. Right? Well, when that song goes to the record, so the record label has the album, the singles, they put it on their promotion teams go straight to country radio. That's it. They go to top 30 stations and top 60 stations. There's 2 different stations out there. All right, they don't call them that. You're not going to be able to Google that. You just got to know that. You got to know an artist that's been there, done that, got the prize. All right, that's why they have a top 30 countdown. All right, but top 60. All right, so you get on these stations. Your guys are working these stations. They're working them. And they have relationships with them. If you're someone out there and you got a kid or whatever and they're singing and you start calling these stations, you can't do it. You have to be bona fide. You have to have a certain kind of qualification and basically, if you will, a license to be a billboard promoter. Like it's a whole other conundrum to explain that. But you have to be basically, in layman's terms, certified and have a license to do it. You can't just pick up the phone and start doing that. So that's why it's key to understand what I've done, and there's a way to beat it, and there's a way to go through that system and beat the system, but you got to do it a certain way to get there. All right? So when the song goes to country radio, then your guys are working these stations, right? And there's no set formula to it. They may call Charlotte, they may call Austin, they may call Sacramento, and then if you're on a billboard tour, what they call a radio tour, there's no set formula. You think they would, but you never know who's going to add your song first. You never know who's going to add it. So my first billboard interview was in Cookeville, Tennessee. Ironically, it wasn't far away, but that was my first one. All right, my second one was, I think Bowling Green, Kentucky or somewhere like that. So my guys kind of, had it in a more set formula. But it didn't always work that way. All right, so you get the ads where you can, and then it's all based on the spins. All right, so there's stations and spins, right? So all these things are counting. Well, by the time you make your rounds to these stations, and they're working you up billboard, then you got to be working these stations over here. By the time you're working these stations, these are falling off. So if you don't have a lot of this, that's how it works. And I know people who will say, well, it takes money to make money. It ain't that kind of system. It's not like that. When the major record labels see any unsigned artist, not just me, all the other unsigned artists, when they see an unsigned artist getting close to number 30, 35 really, they come in there and they'll put 5 or 6 of their artists, they'll put a new single out, and it bumps everybody back. One of the weeks that Right Beer Right Now was up, we were at number 50. And we had a bullet. A bullet point means a great thing too. If you see the bullet on the chart, it's a great thing. It's active. All right. Now you can lose a bullet and you think, uh-oh, here we go. Here comes the fall. But then you can get a bullet right back. So in 2020 was the worst year to debut in country music, especially for an unsigned artist like me and a few others that debuted that I know, because of 2020. So 2020 is when the labels really had to pour money on everything because they didn't want to lose their what? Their monopoly and conglomerate. They didn't want to lose. They didn't want to lose it to fans because they never dreamt a guy like me was going to do what my team and I did. So, and they definitely didn't think I would expose all this. Well, they thought wrong. But in 2020, we were sitting there at like number 50. We sat there for 3 weeks straight at number 50. Every single person I know that was on the chart that was unsigned, they all fell. Some of them fell off completely, gone. Sad. Very sad because they spent koodles of money. All right, and I'm talking about way up there. And you don't get this money back. This is why it's important. This is why every fan needs to get involved. Every person, even if you're not a country music fan, you should be a part of this. Because you can actively take down country music and we can get the right people back in the key positions. They're easy to be removed. All they got to do is have enough ridicule, and especially when the United States Attorney General, when we get out of all this that we're under right now, and we get back in a real system, and especially the Tennessee Attorney General, when they find out all these dirty bull crap that I have and a few others, I'm telling you, we can take it down. We can get these people out. We can get, and you may be someone who may be qualified for the spot. You may actually be the person who gets the spot. You may be someone that gets inspired by this, and I'll show you how to get involved and show you how to keep peppering away, and this is how we do it. All right? So in 2020, here we were, number 50. 3 weeks at number 50. Well, right when we started moving up in the 40s, some of my buddies were already up in the 30s, and they were rolling. Well, all of a sudden, here comes Eric Church, seems like Miranda and someone else. But anyway, there's like 5 artists put out singles. Eric Church debuted at number 29. So when they jumped that far, when they came in like that, and they jump in at 29, you'd think that, well, why would you move so far? Well, because all the other artists that were coming on, that were major record label artists, they all put heavy money in there and put them up there, and it backed everybody up. Thank God we held our own where we were. But there's a system and a formula that my guys were using that kept us there. But all my buddies, there they go, went tumbling and falling. One of them, their investors completely pulled out. They completely left, gone. And you've never heard of this person. This is why it matters. I'm not the only one that's been screwed over. And we weren't the only ones in 2020 and 2021. This has been going on since they changed the Billboard country system. All right? There's been a lot of great writers and artists. And you sit there and fans go, well, where did they go? What happened? You'll see all these publications. Oh, that's another one that's going to get roasted. For example, I'm going to go ahead and light the fire right now. Because I've been waiting for this day. I've been waiting for it. So when we were on Billboard chart, here we were on Billboard, the top chart in the whole freaking genre. There we are. When you're a kid in the 80s and the 90s, Country Weekly was your only publication. You had Country Weekly and Country Music Magazine. Those were your 2 major publications. Those 2 entities, one of my buddies was the chief editor of Country Weekly for years. All right? Chief editor. He studied the writers. He studied the producers. He studied the artists. He studied the musicians. That's back when country music was country music, and the publications studied the whole system. All right? And guess what? The labels loved them. The producers loved them. The artists loved them. The songwriters loved them. Everybody loved these publications because why? They put credit where credit was due. They studied the system, and it was reciprocal. Right? It worked both ways. Now it don't work that way. And I know firsthand, because I've dealt with an idiot on fire, with the publication Saving Country Music. Now think about this. There's a publication on Facebook with their little blue check, and it's called Saving Country Music. What are you saving if you don't know how country music works? And I have full firm proof, we still have it screenshot, of your dumb, idiotic comment, which will be put on full blast, because I had ammo, but I didn't have a lot of ammo. I had ammo, but didn't have enough. Now I have enough to put you on full blast, Country Rebel on full blast, which is also Country Music Nation. All right, here I was, George Strait, Jared Jonhson, the only 2 military veterans with Billboard hits in 2020 and 2021. Country Rebel, a buddy of mine now, who knows these guys personally. I'd already been featured by one of their writers over here who was actually trying to do right. This guy, won't say his name, one of their guys is actually trying to do right. He studies the writers, but it's the head dudes up here. So this guy featured us in 2020. He featured me. But their algorithms, their fans don't carry over. And what they do is they put your music video through their page. They get all the views. You don't. We didn't have a single person from their page carry over to YouTube. Not a single person. So they get all the views off of every artist they put on there. They use the artist to make their money. They're monetizing these videos. All right? They also have all their little pretty girls and their cutoffs running around like skank hoes out in fields out there, and they all supposed to be gentleman guys and things like that. And it's all about your hoes and your toys and stuff like that. And you try to go on there and you have you a gospel hour and you have all the old time, oh, we got us a gospel hour. Yeah, well, we know what you're doing. All right? A lot of you are just in it for fame, notoriety, because you couldn't make it as an artist and a songwriter, and you probably can't even write your own name accurately on a piece of paper. Let's just be honest. All right? But then saving country music. Oh, you talking about an idiot on fire. Oh, my Lord. You talking about, woo, this guy. Now, here's my team sending them, hey, Derek Jonhson, George Strait, the only two military veterans with Billboard hits, blah, 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 blah. Here's a guy who tells my team to hire a publicist. Hire a publicist. And here I am on the top chart in all of country music, the same chart that he uses to make his little page popular. He uses all the Billboard artists, and he don't even know how Billboard works. And why wouldn't you want someone who ain't in the system, you idiot? That's how stupid you are. And I know the word stupid. A lot of people don't like the word stupid, but you have to use it sometimes. Here's a guy who beat the system not once but twice with peanuts compared to millions. That's in the book. I won't tell everything tonight, but it's in the book. I beat it badly. I go around all the major record labels, and I'm sitting there on the top chart in country music. And here's a publication saying they're saving country music, and don't even recognize how big a feat that is to bypass major record labels, go straight to the top chart, and he wants to say, hire a publicist. If they ever gave out an Idiot on Fire award at the Country Music Awards, since they're so woke now, they probably won't, but they need to give it to you. You're an idiot on fire, and your publication is trash, all right, because you don't honor who you're supposed to honor. If you're all about country music, then you would look at the full Billboard chart, and you would look at all the artists, not just myself. I can name a few right now. I don't know if they want me to or not, but study the whole Billboard chart. Don't look like an idiot. Don't look like an idiot. You look like a fool to people who actually know. And you're using all these names, and they don't mind it because it's publicity, but you're using all these names that are easy to use because top 20 is easy to use because you don't have to study. You're an idiot on fire. A publicist. Let's get on publicists for the night. Oh, boy. You talking about a rigged job? All of it's rigged. A publicist. Let me tell you how publicists will treat you. All right, publicists. You walk in a publicist, and you sit there, and they got this little packet for you, and they give you cookies and coffee, and boy, they really pamper you up. It's kind of like the reverse of if you're like a salesman. And you got to get to know the secretary, and you're like flirting with the secretary. You're doing what they do at Country Rebel over there, where they got their little girls, and you're like flirting with them, and you're trying to get in. And ooh, if I can get that secretary, I can get over there to that executive. It's the same. It's the reverse. The publicist. Oh, would you like some coffee? Oh man, you've written with so and so, so and so, and so and so, and oh man, you've worked with so. How did you work with so and so? Tell us your favorite story working with legendary so and so. Boy, they pamper you up, You feel like you're sitting high on the tallest mountain in the world in a red chair. You feel like your feet are being in the pedicure, like your hands on the manicure. They got everybody working you, like rubbing your shoulders and everything. That's what you feel like. Then they go, well, Derek, we are a minimum of $3,000 a month for 3 months. So you have to sign a contract for 3 months minimum. It's $3,000 a month because we have to build up a repertoire with you. Oh, okay, hold on. Whoa. Let me get this straight. You're a publicist, and you have this top 20 artist, and that top 20 artist, and that top 20 artist, and that top 20 artist, and you work with this publication, this publication, this publication, this publication. Don't you already have relationships over there? Oh, that's right. You guys are so lazy. You want me to pay your bill for 3 months, and then you're going to start working on it. When you say, well, we went to the pond, we cast the line out there, they didn't really nibble on it any at all. No, you're lazy. You want someone to do your work for you. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't need a publicist, and you definitely don't need a manager. That's the other one. Artists that don't have any hits to their name, don't have it. They'll go hire managers, and managers do the same thing. They want to work on the top. They want to trim the top first. They want money up front. They don't do a thing. I've got 2 buddies that got out of their management deal because their manager, all the person did was party all the time. If he would have put half, well, not even half, if he'd have put in a tenth of the time that he did partying into the artist that he quote-unquote managed with all of his big contacts, he would have multiple hit artists. It's all about initiative also, and drive, and that vigor, that vigor, whatever you want to call it. You got to have something. You got to have motivation. You don't need a manager. You don't need a manager, and you don't need a publicist. You don't need them until you absolutely have something to manage. It's something that like me, I have 2 #1 bestsellers now, and then I have the 2 Billboard hits. I have a few other things out there that probably people don't care about, whatever. But I have something people can actually sink their teeth into if I wanted that. But see, I don't want that. I want to be the one that says, you know what? You incompetent, inept, idiots on fire in all these positions. You let the one person walk in your office who was the most loyal to your system. I was the most loyal, but see, I was in part of the old system coming into the new, right? I was way back here. I started going to Nashville in 2003. All right, that's when I started going. I didn't move until 2007. But I was in that old system. I was with the guys who cared about etiquette, protocol, standard. They loved how, if you're in a writer's round, this is where writers go wrong too. Nowadays, the writer's round, I had a buddy of mine, big hit songwriter. He's like, dude, you would not believe. He said it was me, it was your boy Dave Gibson, it was your boy so-and-so, and another one. We're all walking a writer's round. Not a single writer on that stage even knew that they had 4 Hall of Fame #1 hit songwriters in the room. All right, if you want to get in the wheelhouse, you want to get into the breadbasket of a hit songwriter, etiquette, protocol, standards. We have so many songwriters now in Nashville. You can walk in a room, they'll say, "What's up, bro?" "Nah, brah." "Yeah, dude. I'm not your freaking dude, and I'm not your brah." All right? So learn some freaking etiquette, standard, and protocol. But then a lot of that woke culture has gotten into the record labels. That's why we have the crap show we have right now. That's why music sounds like doo-doo on a loop. If you think that this music is music, it's not. Like, how can you listen to George Strait one moment and then flip over here? You need to go get some Mark Chestnut in your life. You need some Tracy Lawrence. You need Tracy Byrd. You need Vern Gosdin. I mean, I can keep going. George Jones, you need some Conway Twitty. You need to hear some real music. You need to go listen to songs that change your soul, that are timeless. All this crap today is content, 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 content. They just cram it down your throat, cram it down your throat, cram it down your throat. In 10 years, you're not going to be like, oh man, that Luke Bryan song brought me out of the loop. Oh, it brought me out. This stuff, if a songwriter like me walked into a publishing company with all the publishers I know, and I said, yeah, we're rolling down the Flint River. We're going to cook us a catfish dinner. Don't it sound like a winner, winner? That is oh my gosh. How can people call that quality? Is beyond me. The last quality song that's come out of Nashville in the last 12 years, outside of unsigned artists like me that no one knows, but the top 20 would be She Calls Me Raymond. That's probably one of the best songs, one of the most best written songs, and Brett Eldredge can sing his rear end off. All right? Go back and listen to She Calls Me Raymond. That's probably the best, well-written, country, full-fledged country music song that's come out of Nashville. And I commend Till You Can't. Till You Can't's a great song. It's a great song, but you got to understand it. It would have been a hit song on any artist because the artist didn't write it. So you got a few different things you got to dissect. And you got to understand where the money's going, who's controlling it, and why are they blockading off the ones that are the most loyal to their system? Why would they blockade off a guy like me? Why would they do that? I'm an artist. I'm a songwriter. I produce my music. You know, I'm a United States veteran. I mean, that country music is all about markets. It's supposed to be. But it's not. It's not anymore. And it's such an atrocity that we have so many people out there, they're all about fame and fortune. You try to help people. You try to help people out there, and you can't help them. You can't help them whatsoever. And you got people out there, they just hate. They'll hate, and don't want to listen. When you're the very one that has all the answers, you have all the keys that keep them from getting in trouble, getting in a stupid contract, getting in, in debt. And that's why it's important to read the book. Now, I know people say, well, if it's so important, why isn't it in a book? Well, because I want it to be recorded in history. I wanted it to be the first. My grandfather was one of the pioneers of country music in the 1940s. All right? And there was a lot of them back then. They didn't get remembered. A lot of those guys. A lot of guys haven't been remembered in the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. There's a lot of people. Now, you can't remember everybody. Okay, maybe not. But everybody has a story, right? And my grandfather has a story, and I get to tell it now, all right? Of all people, if all the people in Mobile, Alabama, all the massive rush during the war, in World War II, right before he went off in the Army, Hank couldn't go in the Army because he had a problem. Of all people that were boarding mates with Hank Williams Sr. was my grandfather. And my grandfather already played guitar. He already toured around all the different venues back then. He owned one of Bob Wills' guitars, made a trade on it. Red Foley. I'm naming people that country music singers today don't even know existed. And then they'll try to pull all these songs out, and they'll make you think that they have some kind of connoisseur for old country, and they don't. They're just preying on your wallet. They don't have any chill bumps when they get up there. All right, it's all about jumping around, looking like a goon on the stage. It's just it's an atrocity what country music has become. It's an atrocity what songwriters already didn't get enough attention. Now they don't get attention, and then they also are making crap when it comes. We're making crap when it comes to this right here. All right, 0.0033 cents per stream. All right, if you do your math, if a song is 3 minutes long, there's 1,440 minutes in a day. So that's 480 times that a 3-minute song can play in a day. If you do your math, that's $2.09 a day. If that song has one songwriter, and if you stream that one song all day long and don't listen to another song. So then you take the $2.09 and divide that by however many songwriters are on it. Voila. And that's the thanks that country music fans are doing for all the songwriters out there who actually went through the grief, maybe of these, which there ain't many heartache songs now. The heartache songs today of country music is laughable. It's like, you know, they put all, it's on a loop. Everything's on a loop. It's got the same beat, and it throws you for a loop. And how fans can't see all these songs sound the same. It's really baffling that a lot of these country music fans, they love 60s and 70s rock, which is really hard for me to comprehend. Then they love George Strait, and then they'll turn and listen to this doo-doo that they call country music. Baffles me. And it's only because they don't realize how the system works. They don't study the Billboard chart, which is a subscription now. They don't realize that they have the power to listen to more great artists, but all they know is top 20. It's an atrocity. It really is. It's an atrocity for so many artists that I know that have been screwed over. And I know one right now, the dude can sing his rear end off. He sings circles around everybody. How James Otto got cut out. James Otto can sing, he can out-sing any dude that I know. How did he have one #1 hit? Why did his label drop him? That guy can sing his rear end off. He's a veteran of the United States military. He's a writer. He co-wrote You Should Have Seen It in Color. Why did the label drop him? When all they do is control the whole market. They control every single one of you country music fans. You have no influence on every single top 20 artist as far as when they come out or as they're there. The only influence that you have is to stop going to their concerts, stop buying their merchandise, and stop streaming their music. And then go look up every single unsigned Billboard artist and get them first. Because when you hit all the unsigned Billboard artists, then you're flipping that algorithm over there of the major record labels that are in control of that. So you go in the system against the system and flip that. Then those unsigned artists will create avenues for all the ones that are come on. See, you can't see what's beyond number 60. See, we can. When I've published a chart to everybody and Sammy Kershaw did it, that's how I proved I had a Billboard hit. It's because Sammy Kershaw, legendary Sammy Kershaw, it's still up on his page. Go down there and you see me and him side by side. He posted it on his page. Legendary singer. Well, I don't think he wrote a few songs, but still, doesn't matter. 1990s artist. She's the queen of my double-wide trailer. Vidalia, Yard Sale, Third Rate Romance, a lot of big hits. All right, so you can see my name over there, right? That's how you prove this stuff. But number 61, all the way out to about number 400, you can't see them. There's a lot of artists back here you can't see. But what they'll do is they'll show them getting in the chamber over here. And you can see, when we've posted the chart, you can see all the way down here, number 61 to number 68. Look them up. Go, if you love their voice, great. Leave my page if you don't like me and go follow them. Fine. I'm not for everybody. Great. But I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing this for every single aspiring artist, songwriter, but especially all the Billboard artists that's already been there. But they were unsigned in the major record labels. If they'll screw me over with my resume, they'll screw over anybody. And you cannot combat it. You cannot combat it. You cannot, there's nothing you can do to get past that certain number on the billboard. There's nothing you can do about it. The only thing we can do about it is to flip that algorithm and bust the system a certain way. It's the best way to do it. It's the only way to do it. It's the only way to expose their system. And if they try to blackball all of us doing it, then we got it on record. Then we go to the Attorney General and we spend all our time at the Attorney General's office and go, show them data, show them evidence. Here's the charts. Here's all the unsigned artists. Here's what's going on. Here's the money trail. Here's how they're throwing money under the table that you don't know about. That's how they're doing it. So if you love music, and music touches your soul, and it is that thing, then you need to know how the system works. You need to understand someone who's been there, done that. Got the prize. There's nothing past Billboard Country Airplay. And there's nothing I can do. There's nothing me or any other artist can do. There's nothing we can do. Because you can't compete with their conglomerate monopoly. But there's a thing you can do as a fan. You can flip that. It ain't going to benefit me. My days of Billboard are long gone. But I can produce artists, and I can produce every artist and get them there. And I can put great songs on them. I can put great production on them. But I'm only going to do it on artists from here out that recognize that, unlike others. Unlike others who are making people think that they wrote the songs that I wrote and I produced. That ain't going to happen. So we're going to make sure that there's a way to have etiquette, protocol, standard. There's a way to be ethical. All right, there's a way to do it with transparency, honesty, integrity, accountability, and responsibility. All right, there's a way to do it. And we can most definitely not take down country music from the standpoint of get rid of it, because we love it. We love music. But we can take out the corrupt leaders. We can clean them out. And then we can take over the system. The system's fine. There has to be a level of systems. There has to be levels, because you can listen to George Strait, right, and those songs. There is a great song. There is a difference in a poor written song and a great song. But guess who gets to decide that? You, the fans, get to decide that. You get to decide what you want on your playlist. That's why it's important to stop with the top 20, stop with the top 30, and then what we do is we clean out that system, we get all better people in there, and then we get the publications out there to understand if it's truly about music. Then why does the Billboard chart have 60 bullet slots on it, but the fans are only hearing top 20, if that? Why are there 40 others back here, a lot of unsigned artists? Why aren't you covering them? Why aren't you studying them? Why aren't you helping them? Why aren't you making articles about them? Why is it that you're pushing all these little females that you got on your page? You're doing it, so why are you doing it? Why are you making a page and you're trying to push your people and you're trying to build this page up massively, and then you're trying to go to the record label and say, we have an artist over here. What about all the artists over here that are going through the actual system? What about them? So major record labels, we can take them out by all of you fans studying all the unsigned artists back here on the Billboard, because we're already in that system. All right, and I say we, I'm not there anymore, but there are unsigned artists right now on Billboard. They're there. They're doing every single thing right to be there. Why aren't they getting recognition? Why aren't they getting signed? Here we are, it's 2024. You can have unlimited number of songs on your Spotify playlist. How come radio plays the same top 30? How come radio plays top 60 on 60s? Why can't it be like Alan Jackson said? Why can't we have half traditional? And if y'all love pop and rap and all that other bull crap, we have enough room on our playlist now, and it still will be decided on you, the fans. A lot of you will go from freaking Pandera to George Strait to Motley Crue to freaking Pearl Jam to, gospel music in just a matter of 5 minutes, and you all know it. So if you can do that, how come major record labels are screwing over every single unsigned artist that are on the Billboard chart, their chart, not our chart? I didn't make it up. I didn't create it. I didn't establish it. I have no control over it. Why are you screwing over all those artists when there's enough room on the playlist, and then you let the fans decide ultimately? Ultimately, fans will decide, oh, I love this song. I don't like this song. Oh, I love this song. I don't like this song. Then you can. It's a broke system, and all they've done is go more woke, and they're going to go more broke. And that's what we got to do. We got to break their system. It's going to require you not doing that with top 20 and top 30. And you got to study all the unsigned artists and go flip these algorithms. Flip it. Comment. If you have to comment one word at a time in the comment boxes, flip the algorithms. Go to their shows. Buy their merchandise. Do whatever you got to do. Support them. And we got to get honesty and integrity back. We have to. We have too many bottom feeders out there who try to prey on people. We have people out there claiming to be producers and claiming to be this and claiming to be not one single hit to their name. Not a single hit to their name. And they go over here and they prey on all these artists, right? If you're a producer and you're an aspiring producer and you have no hits to your name, and you can work a board or you can work Logic or Pro Tools, great. Be where you are at what you are. Quit trying to say that you're something you're not. Be what you are where you are. Grow. Build. But trying to come up here where someone like me's already been for the last, 18 years, it's unbelievable. It's truly unbelievable. And we have so many of that goes on. And they prey on people and they lie to people. They deceive people. All for money, power, and greed. They just want to be a name. They want to be seen so bad. Oh, look at me, look at me, look at me. You can, if you had if you didn't have thick skin, if you don't have thick skin, let me just say it like that, you'd be hurt quick in this industry. Of all the people who lie and backstab you and use you and abuse you, especially when you have a good name, they'll ride your name right on into the ground. They'll throw you under the bus quicker than a cat can lick its butt. They will throw you under just for popularity, status, fame, everything. And it's unfortunate, but it does happen. It happens all the time, and we can get control of that. But it's really bad when it's over music. It's bad when it's something else, but it's really bad when it's over music. Something that actually helps someone on a deathbed. Something that actually helps somebody through a hard time, through divorce, through PTSD, through all these absolute difficult times in life. Here's music supposed to be doing that. And you got people who will use your production, they use your songs, and they go on and act like that you didn't do any of it. They don't tag you in it. They don't do, they just right on through. Just like, well, no thank you. And no integrity in it. Like I've told others before in my past, I say, okay, all right, here's the deal. You want to use my music? Well, how about you take my music down and make it on your own? It's just like right now in politics. A lot of people, they're out there, they use my name everywhere you turn around. They need my name because they need the algorithm. But they are some dirty people. And there's some bad people out there. And they trying to use my name to build their name up. And it's like that old saying, you trying to put someone else's light out ain't going to make yours shine any brighter. So, you can educate yourself, but this stuff you cannot Google. There's nothing in that book that you can Google. You're not going to be able to Google. Well, there's some things, but there's a lot that you can't Google. Just like country airplay. You can Google what it is, but they don't tell you, oh, well, it's based off this, and Nielsen data does this, but they ain't going to show you the full formula. You're not going to see the full formula. They're going to show you a little bit. They're not going to show you everything. That's why you have to know somebody who's been there in the system and done it. And I'm the only one who's ever exposed the whole everything from the pen. Let's do it like this. From the pen to the paper, from the paper to the publisher, from the publisher to the producer, from the producer to the artist, from the artist to the label, from the label to the country radio / program directors, from the program directors in radio to your playlist, from the playlist to your ears, from your ears to the stage. From top to bottom, I show and explain every entity and how it all works, how they coincide. Then I roast all of them. I explain them, and then I turn around and roast them and call out labels. If you're a record label executive, this is what you probably should be doing. You probably shouldn't let a guy like me, who has the most extensive resume known to man. I've worked with a lot of legendary people. God rest their souls. Some of them have already passed on. I've worked with some legendary people who gave me an opportunity and let me have their name. One of them told me before he passed, he said, Derek, you'll always have me on your resume, and as long as country music appreciates all the people who paved the way, which they don't now, unfortunately, but up to a point they did, you have me on your resume. He said, you can leave this town, and if it's the same people, in 10 years you can come back and walk right in with my name. He was so accurate for up to a certain point. So, have all these accolades, right? You can't Google them. There's a lot of credible people you can't Google. A lot of people didn't get remembered that way. Some people have Wikipedia pages, some people don't. Some people have bios out there, some people don't. I know some of the biggest hit writers and hit people, and you can't find anything on them. And of course, a lot of them want it that way. But it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate where the country music's gotten. It's not a family anymore, that's for sure. It's not about integrity of the music anymore either. Not just the business. There's just no integrity whatsoever. You know. Great example. Johnny Paycheck. Johnny Paycheck was an artist back in the 60s, 70s, of course 80s, but still. And he begged David Allan Coe for a song. And David finally just gave him one of his songs that he was like, man, here's you a song. And David later said, dang, if I knew it was going to be the biggest hit song of his life, a lifetime hit, I'd have never given it up. But that's what artists did back in the day and songwriters did back in the day. They helped all the, I mean, it was music, right? And giving a song up, you know, that, once again, it didn't hurt anything. The song was Take This Job and Shove It, by the way. But then you got stuff like, I had an artist not long ago, I know someone, they got mad because I was pitching a song they were wanting to record. And I'm like, well, first off, I'm a hit songwriter. I mean, I have one, it doesn't matter, but I have one more than 99% of the artists on radio. I have 2 hit songs as an artist, which is more than most people can say. And I don't mean that in a bragging way. I'm just talking about for the negative idiots out there. And here's an artist with no hits to their name, no hits to anything, getting mad. And I'm like, look, first off, if Kenny Chesney or George Strait or, someone that's got a massive base, we're talking about 7, 8, 10, 15 million on all their platforms. If one of them records my song that a low-level artist recorded, well, if the low-level artist recorded it before I pitched it to a major artist, and then that major artist recorded it, well, when the fans start looking up that song and they're typing it in and it pulls up any artist that would have recorded it beforehand, but especially one that no one knew, it's only going to help that artist out and would actually catapult them beyond measure. Prime example, 2 prime examples. Elvis Presley. Do you realize that a lot of songs that Elvis Presley recorded were other songs by other artists? Do you not know that? Now, I'm not saying every artist is Elvis Presley. It's that there's no one that can compare to Elvis. Not saying that. It's the principle. Elvis took a lot of songs. For example, Sweet Caroline. Was that Tom Jones? Was that his name? I always have to make sure because, yeah. Right? So, he said that you would have thought that, I think it was him, right? Let me make sure. I got it wrong? Maybe I'm wrong. Who did Sweet Caroline? Who is that? Yeah, Tom Jones. That's what I thought. No, Neil Diamond. Neil Diamond. See, I'm a country dude. Tom Jones, he was the what's new, and I ain't gonna say that word. Neil Diamond. He's the one that said you'd have thought that Elvis taking that song would have made people leave my career behind and go to Elvis and purchase Elvis' song. He said it was a polar opposite, that his whole career was amplified, made it even more by Elvis recording this song and Elvis bringing attention to it. Same thing with, there's an artist out there that I happen to know. He's up in his 80s now. No offense, Bill. But Bill Anderson. Bill Anderson is a legendary country music artist and songwriter. Whispering Bill is his name that was given to it. And I happen to know Whispering Bill, and I know his manager. But Whispering Bill wrote a song that's been recorded over 800 times. I don't even know what it's up to now. Let's see. My fingers. Let's see here. Let's see how many times it's been recorded now. I think it's been recorded. Let's see. I don't know. It don't say right here off the bat. But I know it's been recorded. Matter of fact, just looking at the Wikipedia, Roy Clark had a hit song with it. Eddie Arnold had a hit song with it. Gene Shepard had a hit song with it. Anita Paris, Steve Wariner, all had hit songs with it. On the main charts, The Tip of My Fingers, great song. And Bill Anderson is the sole songwriter of it. That song has been recorded more times because it's a great song. That's why I will not waste my time on any artist out there that has a piss poor attitude that don't want to listen. They record a few songs and they think they're, oh, I'm it. And then they leave everybody behind. And they don't realize that if they did get a major record deal, guess who the major record label's going to have to bring back in? Who produced it? Who wrote them? But especially who produced it, who's your finder? Who found you? Is there anybody on your career? This is why you have to know when you're in commercial mainstream music. If you did get a record deal, if lightning does strike twice in a same spot, which because that's how rare it is to get a record deal now by being just a nobody, because they don't have to do that anymore. That's what you're going to have to understand. And that's why you got to know somebody. That's why you got to know somebody who's been there, done that. And why would any producer not want to be happy of their production? Why would any songwriter? That's our babies. When I write a song, I'm not a great singer. I tell people all the time, I'm not a great singer. I'm a guy who writes my music. I can perform my music because it comes from right here because I wrote it. I write most of my songs about something I've done in my life. All right? So I try to write truly off of some experience the best as possible. Now, my truck ain't left me yet. There's no ghosts. But, you know, that's my truck. That's one of my proudest songs I've written. I solo wrote that, by the way. I've solo written a lot of my stuff. My next record I'm putting out, which will be, we've been pushing it back. We're going to be doing, I think I'm going to put out, I may just postpone all the co-writes that I was going to put out and put another record out. I'm going to put a full record out of nothing but solo writes. Just to prove I can write circles around Morgan Wallen. I can write circles around Luke Combs. I can write circles around any guy. That's why hit songwriters write with me. Because I pull my weight when I'm in a room. When we're on a write, I pull my weight. There's an old saying in Nashville, anybody can get a write with one hit songwriter, but can you get two writes with the same hit songwriter? See, hit songwriters, they don't waste their time on people that don't pull their weight. All right, so I pull my weight. I've written with a lot of hit songwriters. More than once. All right, now that don't mean that every time we write we get a great song. But most of the time when we write, we do. You know, that's what's great about the writers. When they're hit writers and they've got hits with George Strait and Rascal Flatts and big artists, man, you get on a write with them, and because you go in there and yeah, man, I got this idea. Man, when I was in college or when I was on the farm, when I did this, and it just. So, you know, all the art of country music, that's what it was all about. Country's about roots. It's about your lifestyle. Right? And all these artists today, my pinky toe is more country than 98% of the artists that they're showing as country music artists. I mean, some of them are coming from L.A. What is country about Los Angeles? I mean, because country music, I hear this all the time. Country's a song. It tells a story. Yeah, about a lifestyle that you've never lived. See, that's where you, the fan, also has the power to go, you know what, this guy right here, he's cowboy, he's this, he's done this, he puts pictures out here, he loves to hunt, he loves to fish, he loves to do this. Hey, when I was I think 9 years old, I read that George Strait loves jalapeno peppers in Country Weekly. All right. Now, my dad ate jalapeno peppers occasionally, but we never kept them around the house a whole lot. They weren't like your main feature, your main dish all the time. And I was like 9 or 10 years old. I was asking my mom for jalapenos. I was like, I want some jalapenos. I thought it was like candy, you know. I want some jalapenos. I want some jalapenos. I want some jalapenos. And I bugged the crap out of them enough that I got them jalapenos. Boy, did I get them jalapenos. But I love jalapenos because George Strait, this was in a Country Weekly, the bio of George Strait, right? He was the guy, if you lived on a farm or a ranch, that's the guy you looked up to. Because He was the real deal, and he is the real deal. All right? So, there's that. You know, and so you, the fan, have that power. And all these artists are showing, these artists today look like they raided the 75% off rack at Rue 21. All right? And some of them look like they went in, Ross, you know, dressed for less, and just picked up whatever they could find that don't match. And what I mean, there's no country gentleman anymore. There's no look at the world we live in. Look at the 50s, the 60s, the 70s. Look at all the men in the movies. Look at all the guys that wore suit and ties. Look at where we've gotten. Look at church today. Oh, look at church today. You walk into church. Now I know God don't judge you on what you're wearing, but if you have it, it's the, like my grandmother always said, it's the reverence. If you can't afford it, and you can't, okay. But if you can, it's the reverence. It has everything to do with reverence to God, showing God your best. It's like my dad and grandpa. My grandpa always said, when you can cowboy up, son, cowboy up. Right? When you can dress up, dress up. There's an occasion for everything. Like when you go to Mar-a-Lago, I've been there, I don't know how many times, to President Trump's place. You better walk in with a suit and tie on. They don't care if you got a cowboy hat and boots, but them pants better be slacks, and it better be a jacket. You don't have to wear a tie, but it looks even better if you do. There's a time and a place for everything. And what they've done to country music, it's a disgrace. They have, once again, they've accomplished their mission. They wanted your children. They've gotten to your children. Sex, drugs, alcohol, and the party scene. Massive party scene. And we've lost country music for years. We've lost it. It's going to be hard to get it back because you have this massive, big blocks of generations that don't know what a steel guitar is. They don't know what a fiddle is. They don't know what a sad song is because they've been told not to even cry. These people today, they break up with you. They're on a date site in the same day that they break up with you. All right, they're all over their social media, half naked, and they say, "Oh, you're judging them because well, what am I supposed to do? God just blessed me with these." Well, not looking like a hoochie mama would probably be a good start. How about having some decency about you? How about some morals about you? How about you let your songs speak for your songs, not your stupid naked body all over social media with these stupid inspirational quotes that no guy is reading, by the way. And what's the Bible say about making your brother stumble? If you cause them to stumble, you're just as guilty. So don't blame it all on the guys out there, all this bullcrap we've been under the last 20 years where you blame it all on the guy, blame it all on the guy, blame it. You have just as guilty as a part. All right? You do too. And everywhere you look on Instagram, all these little hoochie mama songwriters, their streams, their conversion ratios, there's no conversion ratio there. You know, you'll see a girl say, "Oh, I hit 200,000 streams today." You got 100 followers. How's that happening? Where are you purchasing the streams? Who are you paying off? There's agents you can buy, by the way. I don't recommend you doing that, but you can buy streams out there. You'll see some female half naked all over her social media, and then you go there and you go, "Whoa, 20 million streams and you got 1,000 followers? Something ain't adding up." All right? So, look at the society that we've created. Look at where we are today. We got dudes that don't know they're dudes. We got females that don't know they're females. We got them trying to crisscross looking like this. Then we got the females that want to look like a dude, and they want to get pregnant looking like a dude. And then you got the dude that wants to look like the female, that wants to be the wife that don't have the baby of the female that wants to look like the dude that wants to have the baby. What the hell have we gotten into in this society, in this world? I mean, we're a Build-A-Bear, we're a Build-An-Idiot Bear society. It ain't Build-A-Bear, we're a Build-An-Idiot Bear. We got people who come out of the womb who can't see a little thing flicking around down there and say, oh, it's, well, we can't say nothing anymore because we can't say that that little flicker is a penis, all right? And then we got the ones that have the plane, right, you know, like that ain't got no little flicker down there. We can't say, well, that's a female and that's a vajayjay. We can't say that anymore. What the hell have we done in the world? How? That is where you do. If I didn't know what was going on with the military on the political side of stuff, that's where you do play. Oh, God, please. Please don't let that asteroid go by here one more time. Please don't let that comet go by. Please let that thing come closer to my telescope, coming right at us. Please don't let it go by. Please don't hear another freaking quote-unquote scientist say it's going to be another 176 years before a comet comes by here. Please take us all out. That's what we need to happen in reality. We have got to the massive, we are a crap show if there is a crap show. From top to bottom in every facet. Every facet. Then the cowboy is obsolete now. The cowboy, oh, you opening a door for a lady? Oh, she can open that door on her own. Look at where we've gotten. Oh, don't call me sir. I'm not old. Has nothing to do with you being old. It's called etiquette. It's also called, hey, I'm showing you some respect because you are older than me. I'm showing you respect. Another word that has been butchered, misconstrued, they don't respect me. If you have to walk around saying someone doesn't respect you, prime example, respect is earned. But that slogan, respect is earned, means you walk around and you let that be an action. Respect is an action. It's not something vocalized. Same thing with songwriters. If you're a great songwriter, your songs will speak for themselves. Now, because it's a rigged system, they're only going to go so far. But at least write great songs. Let your songs speak. You should want to be the girl in a turtleneck if you're a female. You should want to be the one in a turtleneck that nobody sees your body and you get up there and go, I just wrote this song today. It's about this. Don't spare any word. It's about a breakup. You ain't got to tell what you went. Let the song speak for itself. Try that for a change. Try that at a writer's round, all you young writers out there. Nobody wants to hear a 5-minute story. The longer your story goes, the crappier your song probably is. Let your song speak. Have some decency about you again. Dress up. Dress for the occasion. Dress up. Every facet needs to be cleaned out. Major record label executives, all you with IQs of tires and roly-polies, y'all need to go. All you publishers out there that don't recognize great music anymore, that you say, well, we're dedicated to our songwriters. Every time that a songwriter goes in there for a deal and you know they're a great songwriter, you need to go. All you publicists and managers, you and your little crap, your little bull crap lines you tell all these young artists out there, y'all need to go. Everybody needs to be gone. Everybody. It needs to be a massive washout. We need a cleansing in this nation. We need a nation that comes. I know if there's anything I need to do, I need to clean up my little slang words every now and then. I look in the mirror every morning and say, let me try not to say that 4-letter word. But if that's the worst thing I got to do, a lot of y'all out there got to work on a lot of stuff. Etiquette, standard, protocol, study the system. You publications out there, all of you publications, you can't say anything. I've been on the biggest chart in country music. If you want to keep looking like an idiot, keep looking like an idiot. If you want to look like an idiot, man, you should have seen all the faces whenever we read your stupid comment about have you tried hiring a publicist? Well, I got to hire a publicist when I'm talking straight to you and I show you the Billboard chart. There I am on the Billboard chart. How do you not know what the Billboard chart looks like? How are you call it saving country music and you don't even, what are you saving? You don't even know how it operates. Country Rebel. You started as a crappy apparel company and you can't make it there? And now you're all of a sudden experts on country music? But you don't even recognize a veteran when they're on the biggest platform in the world? But you want to prey on veterans? You want to prey on the veteran community? Great for you. All because of your money, your power, your greed, your lust, the females, your little girls, you got them lined up over there. All of you. All you aspiring artists out there, you got a choice to make. Songwriters, you got a choice to make. All you signed songwriters right now, you got a choice to make too. Y'all taking crumbs from a group of people who care nothing about you. You're only as valuable to them as long as they keep cutting your songs. But as soon as you have all that publishing back and you're a cut and you're not a signed writer anymore, you're going to be right here in my position. Every single signed songwriter, you're the most power. How about a strike? How about you tell the labels until you get your crap together, until you stop catering to all this stuff that's ripping off music and ripping off all the songwriters that are the ones, the backbone of the industry, the songwriters. If you don't have a song, you have no music. If every hit songwriter will stand up and strike, this stuff would get cleaned out quick. You can take one for the team a little while, you signed songwriters. You can take one just a little while. You're putting your heart and soul in all this music, and the fans could care less about you. While these pretty boy prima donnas and all these people stand on these stages and make a mockery out of life and the country life. They're getting arrested. They're acting like idiots. They're dropping N-words, slang N-words. They're doing all this stuff, and they call that publicity. Has nothing to do with music anymore whatsoever. So personally, like I say, I tell people all the time, I don't care if you like my music or not, it doesn't matter. But I don't care anymore anyway. I don't really care. The one thing I love the most is the one thing I hate the most now. I love country music for all the right reasons, and I absolutely hate what it's become. It's not about the family anymore. It's not about the roots and where country music came from. Bristol, Tennessee, not Nashville. It's not about the song anymore. It's not about the lyrics anymore. It's not about the fiddle. It's not about the steel guitar. It's not about that piece that comes in there and it grips your heart. It's not about it anymore. It ain't about any of that. This can be hard to get it back because fans don't care. Young fans definitely don't care. Fans don't care enough. We got a short attention span today. Everybody's on their phone 8 hours a day. My main page, 1776 Nation, it ain't getting the shares it used to because we got a bunch of lazy Americans that don't want to read. They want answers. They want to answer. What's the answer? I want the answer. How about reading? How about this blueprint? It's going to take a lot of reading to know what's going on. But that's the psychological operation that the evil put on you. They've trained every one of you to get a microwave answer. You want a 5-star gourmet meal, but you want to cook it in a microwave. All right? It's just a fact. It's a fact of life. Everybody was asking me for a rant the other day. Go on another rant. Go on another rant. I was like, I don't need a rant. I'm ranting out. I really did this for the love of it. I did country music for the love of it. I love this nation for every bit of our foundation. And we got people out there, they'd rather argue, fuss, and fight than look at a fact that is on a piece of paper that you can tangibly go look at and go, well, it says this. How about explaining why it says this? And they want to say, oh, this guy's crazy. He's a traitor. He's a grifter. He's a this. And it's like, have you read this? This is going to help everybody. That's nonpartisan. This reads nonpartisan. Have you read this? They want to argue, fuss, debate. There's nothing to debate. That's not how the military works. Same thing with country music. You can argue, fuss, say it don't work that way, and everybody who wants to argue, fuss, say it don't work that way is the same person who has never had a hit song in their life as an artist, songwriter, producer, manager, agent, mama, or daddy. Arguing with the one who has. That's the world we live in. Same thing with, I hate the word politics. It's not. It's government. There's politics, which is all drama-based, and then there's government. It's already got enough problems with government. But there's enough people trying to work on the government portion that's having to combat the ones with the politics and the drama, and we're trying to save you. We're trying to save you. We're trying to save you, but you keep listening to the drama because they got you hooked on short attention spans. You want a 5-star gourmet meal with a microwave. Everybody wants a short answer, short answer, short answer. Nobody wants to put in the time. Everybody wants to gripe about taxes, inflation, gas prices, but nobody wants to hear how they all work, how you control them, how do you maintain them, how do you sustain them. Same thing with country music. It has a system in place. We can most certainly flip that system, but it requires what? It requires understanding that system, flipping that system, then maintaining that system and sustaining that system. Same thing with what's going on with the nation. You cannot, as President Trump tells you, you cannot respect laws and orders until you do what? Until you understand laws and orders, until you know laws and orders, until you comprehend laws and orders, then you can respect laws and orders. And we have a lot of lazy people in this world who still want people like me. Well, you understand it, big boy. You take care of it. I will. You know what? I will. But when you want to be in the comfortable seat, when we clean all this doo-doo out, I'll refrain from the other word. Do not expect you to have it easy. I'm not that person. You can go find your love and your little pat on the back from somebody else. It ain't going to be me. I've seen too many people busting their tail, working their tails off in the higher levels for you to hop in there and ride on the coattails. Every one of you. Same thing with aspiring artists and all that. You're not going to do it. If I know any of it, if you get a record deal on the coattails of somebody else, you're going to be called out. Same thing with all these top 20 artists right now. I know a few of them. They crapped on everybody all the way up and didn't remember anybody. A lot of help to get them there, and they don't remember anybody. All for what? Love of money, lust of money, fame, fortune, greed, power, control. And God's not going to stand for it. I'm not here to preach, and I ain't going to preach. But God ain't going to stand for that. I hear a lot of people saying, oh, I'm a Christian, and oh, I'm this, and your actions don't show that. Your actions don't show that. The last I checked, it's all about actions in the Bible. God, you got to put feet to your prayers, right? And I hear a lot of people out there, they claim to be this and they claim to be that, and it's all right here. It ain't right here, and it ain't right here. And he ain't going to stand for some of this stuff too much longer. You can call me crazy. If you don't believe in God, you're in trouble. But, you can call me crazy. That's fine. The Bible told me I will be persecuted for standing up for my belief in God and in Christ. The Bible tells you you will most certainly be persecuted. You will be persecuted. When you pick up the cross and you carry it, you will most certainly be persecuted. And that's fine. Because once again, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. The shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thine art with me. You got to have faith and you got to have fight. You got to have some fight about you in this time period. And I'm going to quote my relative really fast. I never take anything. There's so many people plagiarizing right now. They take all my work and all my study and they put it out as if it's theirs to their people. Just because it's public laws and orders, if you never knew about it, that's plagiarism. It's plagiarism, especially the way I type it. Once again, I can copyright stuff even if it's, once again, I can copyright it. If it's, I can put it like on my websites. I can most certainly charge you with anything I want to charge you with, stealing, plagiarism, etc. All right, and that goes for a lot of people out there. You put credit where it's due. You always put credit where it's due. Just like certain people who's recorded my music, making people think that they wrote it. Nope, I'm not the only one that wrote it on there. There's other songwriters that are not getting credit, and they're making people think that they wrote it. Don't like it? Well, don't record it. If you don't like me saying it, don't record it. Stop pushing the music. That's fine. But put credit where credit's due. It does not hurt you to put credit where it's due. I just had this conversation today on a podcast. It does not hurt you. It only helps you with the people who are wholesome, people who are decent. Those are the people you want following you anyways. It does not hurt you to put credit where credit's due. I quote people all the time. It does not hurt me to quote others. It only helps them because I know they're wholesome and decent, and it also helps me out. All right, because why? Because people want morals again. Most people do. Most people want morals. Most people want wholesome. Most people want decency. Most people do. So practice that. How about practice that? But right now in this time period in society, if you take a look around and you look at all of the indecency, if you look at all the immoral things, if you look at all the unmoral things, if you look at everything out there right now that we're facing and your children are facing and your loved ones are facing, look at the addictions that people have right now. Look at all the stuff that we're countering right now. You got to have some faith about you, and you have to have some fight about you. My cousin, who is a preacher in South Alabama, one of the most, he says, I'm just a country boy, don't have a degree in any kind of Bible, anything. It does not matter. He is one of the most prophetic and the most gifted speakers that I have ever sat under. And I love sitting there. And there's one thing about him, as my relative, I've always loved about him, and I told him the other day, I don't care how much it embarrasses him if it does. But I said, you have never given up on me in my lifetime. Now, I've never been bad. I'm not one of these real bad sinners, as I said, but he's never gave up on me. He's always invited me to church. He's never judged me. He's never judged anything I've done. If I say a bad word, he don't judge me. He don't say anything about that bad word that I said, right? He is consistent. He lives his life in a way of which I look up to him and I say, God, if there's anything I can do to be better, I want to be like him. And just on Mother's Day, he spoke one of the best sermons that I've ever heard in my life. And I tear up when I think about it. I really do. But especially, and even though it's about the mothers, and you mothers out there get some inspiration from it, because you're in a fight right now. Your children are being swept away. Country music, of all things. Country music, the most wholesome, supposed to have been about family and faith and God. And it was for many, many years. Even through the drinking songs and cheating songs, they weren't nearly as bad as what's going on right now. Well, what they've done with the party scene and the drugs and the alcohol and everything else that they have done to country music, one of the family genres. You're going to have some faith, and you're going to have some fight. His sermon was called Faith and Fight. He used two mothers in the Bible. All right, Jochebed's one of them. But let's use the other mother first. I'm going to use it in reverse. But the mother in the Bible, whose child was taken from her in the night, the other mother put her dead child on the stomach, on the bosom of the mother whose baby was taken from her. It's like he said, when she woke up, can you imagine a feeling, if you're a mother out there, can you imagine a feeling of looking down at a dead child that's not your baby, and you knew it wasn't your baby, and it took you a moment to realize that's not my baby? That's my baby. This mother over here took my child. She took my child that's living, little baby, and she put her dead child on the mother who's, that's my baby. That's my baby. And back then it was word of mouth, right? It wasn't like it is now, pictures and that, and social media and this. Think about it. You got to put yourself in that position. He said, you got to have some fight about your mother. You're going to have some fight about your mother. The devil's trying to take your children right now. Country music's already done it. Country music, of all things, you could expect it from some other things out there. Sorry, but you can. But country music, once again, the Bible says what? The devil's out to what? Steal, kill, and destroy. He can't destroy something if he can't kill it first. But he can't kill something that he can't steal first. See, it's key in the Bible too. I'll tell people all the time about terminology. You got to listen to it. Steal, kill, and destroy. It's all put in an order for a reason. If you have something that's valuable, if it's not valuable, nobody wants to steal it. That's why it's hard to be a Christian. That's why it's hard to do the right thing. It's hard to be a Christian. That's why we tell people all the time, it's not being perfect. It's hard to be a Christian because why? Being a Christian is trying to do the right thing all the time, even when nobody's looking. Right? So, you think about this mother. Her child was taken from her. She all of a sudden was put in a position where she had to fight. She had to fight to prove that was her child. She had to fight to prove it was her child. And as the story goes, what's the story say? The king, when they stood in front of the king said, give me a sword. Draw me a sword. I'll chop the baby in half. We'll give one side, one portion to this mother and one portion. No. She can have the baby. She can have the baby. The real mother, her heart kicked in. No. No, she can have the baby. The other mother said, fine. Blah, 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 blah. She said a quote. You have to go read it in the Bible. I don't know the old school language, but basically, that's fine. Chop the baby in half. The king, in his wisdom, knew the mother's fight, knew the real mother's heart. Now let's look at Jochebed. Jochebed, guess who she's the mother of? One of the greatest men in the Bible. She lays her baby in the river. She wraps her little baby up in these swaddling clothes. Right, she puts him in this clothes, puts him in this little thing. She probably, like my cousin said, probably, God, I don't know if this is going to hold my baby, but I got to save my baby. I'd rather save my baby than myself. In a river full of alligators or crocodiles, snakes, you name it, lays her baby down in that river. Like he said, she put her baby into something she feared the most. But God put in something he feared the least. If God's working on your side, He's working on the other side too. You got to have faith. You got to have fight. Faith and favor showed favor. Faith and fight showed favor with the king was the name of the message. Faith and fight showed favor with the king in both situations. Faith and fight showed favor with the king. And it was her little baby that led all those people out of the wilderness. 40 days and 40 nights. It was her little baby that grew up to be this great leader that led all these people out of the wilderness. Where we are today, you got to have faith. You got to have fight. You can't be afraid of people. You can't be afraid of all the gnashing teeth, the idiots, the haters, the trolls, all that. They are nothing but gnats in the south. You're sitting out there, you're trying to enjoy your day in the back porch, and you got gnats. You got to swat them. Or you buy a citronella plant, you light it up, and it keeps the gnats away. You adapt. You survive. You get over it. All right? But everything we're going through right now in life, everything has festered to a point of a boiling point in every facet, and it's being cleaned out. But you also have to do what? You have to participate with it. It's not going to benefit me as an artist. Everything I've done with this book, it's not going to benefit me as an artist. I'm done. I'm done with Billboard. I'm done. I know all the. It won't happen. But it's going to help aspiring artists and songwriters, and I'm going to do everything in my power. I'm telling a lot more that's in the book, but I have a blueprint at the back of the book you got to read about. It's long. But I'm going to produce every single artist that I can, known to man, without making the quality get bad. I'm going to write every song with them or hit songwriters or all of us. And if we flood the Billboard chart and then not take their deals when they come running with their money, if they so choose to do that, that's how you expose the system. It can be done. It's been done before, but other people were bought out. Other people took the bait. They took the money. And one of them's a patriot today. Oh, I'm a patriot. Yep, you're a patriot, all right. P-A-Y. You got paid. All right. So you got to be able to discern, ladies and gentlemen. You have to discern who's telling you the truth. Well, how do you do that? Well, in country music, unfortunately, it's a dirty, secret society. All right? And luckily, I'm in a spot where they can't find me even if they wanted to. And if they do, they better bring an army. That's all I got to say. But luckily, it's gone so woke now that there's not even a mafia anymore in country music, because if there was, they would have never let the streaming take place, which has brutally killed every hit songwriter. Every hit songwriter. Way bigger than me, it's killed it. That's why every hit songwriter that I know personally that aren't liberal or woke already, the ones that are conservative, are rooting this on big time. So we need you. Major record labels, once again, there's only a few of them that control the whole thing. I break down the whole money trail and everything, and as we go along, I'll do more and more videos, more and more videos, more and more videos. I'm going to bounce back and forth from the political spectrum on my political pages and then my country music page. All right? We've got to get control of this. We have to make sure, once again, that we are doing everything we can in society to be a part of every facet being cleaned out. And like I said, I'm the first country music artist, and it's better that I did it. It's better that someone that didn't have top 20 hits did it because they would be biting the system that fed them. So there's some integrity in that in one way, that it wasn't some big artist that has all these massive hits, because why would they have accumulated all those hits if they knew the whole time? So you got to show some integrity in that a little bit. You got to give them a props for not biting the system that fed them and gave their life in one way. And it's not that, like I said, not everybody are bad. Not all artists are bad. Not all major label executives are bad. Not all publishers are bad. Not all of them. But it's predominantly the top level leaderships of all of them. Same thing President Trump tells you about the CIA, the FBI, the DOJ, NATO, etc. It's not the organization. It's the top level leadership. That's who we got to take out. I know who they are in country music. I know who a lot, they're still in the same positions. They're incompetent, they're inept, and if it's about a business, then they really, with me, I mean, when you see me posting songs on my pages and you see this, go look at the artists. I mean, go look at the co-writers. Go Google them. Go look at some of the hit writers I've written with. Google them. Look at their repertoire. Go look at the musicians on my records. You can Google every single musician on my record. They're massive. All right, and they deserve what? They deserve your attention as well, because they're skilled at where they are. They've worked hard to get where they are. And that's what country music right now are crapping on. All the major record labels, the key people I'm talking about, the key publishers, the associations, the academy, they're crapping on all these people. So, do you care? Do you care? You have to ask yourself, do you care? If you care, then take action. There's a way to take action. And I think I don't know, I hadn't looked at the sales on my book. I think we're almost to I got the order coming in, the first order coming in a day or two. Should be here any day now. 500 orders in the first couple of days. But I think where people are ordering the most are on Amazon Kindle. For less than a Starbucks Venti, I don't get them. I don't drink Starbucks. But for just using a big name out there, for the cost of a Venti coffee, you can read the whole history of country music, the behind the scenes that no one's ever heard in their life. You got to give that to every songwriter and artist out there, aspiring artists. You have to be a part of that. All right, so it's really, really simple. They can learn everything from the top to the bottom. They can stop wasting their money and put their money into the right system. Right? The right system is having a great record with someone that knows how to get quality music, and you're paying for the product, not being a project. Because a lot of these bottom feeder producers, they're quoting all these crazy prices, or they're not quoting prices and their production is garbage. And it's only garbage. I say garbage. I'm not talking about people trying. I'm talking about the ones who use the sly tones and they're trying to be bigger than what they are. All right, I'm talking about those. It's only garbage because they haven't had the years experience in like the guys that are putting out quality records. It's just that plain and simple. So, you can cut corners all you want, but I'm telling you, when you cut corners, your first impression's your last impression. Cutting corners is going to hurt you. It's name recognition. I mean, if me with every big name and every slot on my record from top to bottom, if they'll talk to me like I just moved to town last week, that you walk in there with crappy music, crappy songs, you ain't going back in there. At least you'll be insulted in more ways than but at least they won't insult you in another way. They're not even going to talk to you anymore. All right, so at least you could be insulted enough to go back in there and be insulted some more. But if you got crappy music, you ain't going back in there. if you even gotten there in the first place. So, you know, this is just the way that I got a tickle in my throat. It's just the way it was supposed to be in history. Let's just be honest. I'm on a back road in Alabama. Pull over. Go live on Facebook. Holding the phone like this. August the 24th, 2022. 9 people watching live. 9 people. Less than a double hand, but all right. So if you count the thumbs, right? So it's less. So it's 9 people. 9 people. Globally viral. And here I am. And I did God's work first because I wasn't even talking about music or anything. Put out these laws and orders, show everybody what's going on currently, what's in place. If you read, when you read it, you can't unread it, you can't unsee it, you can't unhear it, you can't unknow it. If you read. And so many people have made The Midnight Rider a #1 bestseller, and I don't know. My mom wanted me to update everybody. I don't know. It's over 30,000. I don't know what the number is exactly, but it's well over that how many copies have sold since December. It's up there. A lot more are buying on Amazon right now because we have a lot of international. So if you're international, that's the only way we can offer both books to you is on Amazon. Just because the platform we used, they don't have the international shipping down yet. So, anyways, so if you want the book, you can get it on rattletrap1776.com. It says get more gear or something like that. You click on that, and it goes over and you find both books. I'm trying to sign as many as I can right now, personally, just because. I don't care that my signature would ever be worth anything or not. It's not about that. They claim the less you sign, the more your signature's worth. Well, I don't care. I'm signing everything that I can. And then if you want Kindle, they're both on Kindle. But they're both #1 bestsellers. You all are responsible for that. So thank you all for doing that. You guys, gals. You guys that know your guys, you gals that know your gals. Thank you all for that. It became, the Royal Flush of Country Music became a bestseller within 3 days' time from what I can tell. Maybe 2.5, but it became like that on Amazon in the music business section. So, and it's only on Kindle right now. We haven't put the hard copy out yet. Probably going to do that here soon because I know a lot of international people want to know, and Billboard does affect international as well. So it's the big boy, it's the big boy chart. It is what it is. So there's one thing I'm always going to do. I'm going to defend my family. Well, first off, I'm going to defend my God and my faith. I'm going to defend my nation. I'm going to defend my family. So you saw me get mad earlier. Well, because my mother is my mother. She's my mother. And she brought me in the world, and she loved me long before anybody else did. She carried me right here, as all you mothers know. She carried me right here, and she talked to me long before I knew she was talking to me. She read me stories long before I knew what a story was. She will love me when nobody else will. She's going to be there when nobody else will. When I've been sick, she's weathered the storm with me. She's done everything that a mother is supposed to do. And I feel bad for people who didn't experience the love of a mother out there. I really do. I feel that emotion for you, that you never got to experience that if you didn't. Because there's nothing like a love of a mother. A dad's love is great too, but a mother's love, there's just, even my own dad, I tell you, there's nothing like the love of your mother. And, it's been rough for her because I was a miracle baby for her. it's no secret. She was told she couldn't have kids, or it's going to be difficult to have kids, and I don't know all the female terms out there, don't care to. And this was before the days of some of the technology we have, and so here I am, and I'm her miracle baby, and she tells everybody that. And so, long before I ever knew that she had difficulties and all that, I've always loved my mom, and I'm always going to fight for her. And there's one thing I've never hit a lady in my life, and I won't do it. I'll walk away from any lady that disgraces my mother or anything. But I tell you what, if you're any guy, I don't care how big you are, I'll try my best to whoop your ass if you talk about my mother. It's just the way it is. I don't care how slain that is, and I don't care if that's unchristian-like. I'll just have to take one for the team on that one. When my mother cries, when my mother is hurting because of some idiot who would want the same respect for their child, I mean, think about it. It's the lady that commented. She's one person out of hundreds of thousands of comments. But think about it. She's sitting there with her child in her picture, with her child who's a soldier. You think she'd want that for her soldier? You think she'd want her soldier, her son, to go through hatred, mockery, ridicule for simply telling laws and orders? I mean, it'd be different if I was doing something that's like really controversial. But for showing laws and orders that are currently passed, that are in place, that don't hurt you, it's only going to help you. A military operation that's liberating children, that's liberating women. All of you woke women out there, all you talking about women empowerment, and this operation is liberating women and children. And this is what you're getting mad at, and you're hating me. You're trying to spread lies and false information about me. Are you serious? You're trying to prefabricate lies and prefabricate text messages between me and all kind, and then some estranged family members got involved too. Are you serious, Ron? Is that where we got in the world today? All because I'm showing laws and orders currently in place that are leading a massive world revolution and a massive world liberation, and there's plenty of evidence every single day. Would you want your child to go through that? I can take it. I can personally take it. I tell my mother all the time, if I can take it, Mom, you can take it. Please get that tough skin. She's like, you're never going to be a mother. You're never going to experience that feeling of a mother. So I'm telling you right now, if I see someone slice and dice my video like they've done before, and they take the little part out where they look at this guy with this anger problem, I'm going to tag you in everything and blast you from Kingdom Come this time. This time you're going to be added everywhere, and I'm going to tell all of the people, all the patriots, give them hell. Give them hell. Because you deserve it. If you want to be famous that bad, you deserve it. You deserve it. But most of you are keyboard warriors. And you talk a big game. If you want to debunk me, how about taking laws and orders and debunk me? Why do you need lies? Why do you need false information? Why do you need prefabricated bullcrap? Take the laws and orders and debunk me. You can't do it. That's why. And you're not smart enough to do it. You're uneducated, and you're uneducated lazy, and you can't do it. You can't do it. That's your problem. And what you're really showing people is your evil heart, your malice, your spirit. You don't have a spirit. You're calloused. You have a callous spirit. That's what you're showing people when you do that. So keep putting a big giant red X on your foreheads out there and let the whole world see your true colors. And when all this is cleaned out and humanity is in a position where everybody's helping each other and we don't need a war and we don't need some prefabricated bullcrap 9/11 that was also done on purpose, when that comes out, when the world sees that we don't need tragedy to come together, that all we need are people who are educated, who are kind to each other, who practice what they preach, who practice kindness, who practice love, who practice that, when you finally see that, don't act like you're going to blend in. Not here. There's going to be a wall of shame for all the comments that I've received that made my sweet mother cry. You're going to be put up there and go, hey, you remember this? What about this email? What about this comment? You remember this? Do you remember that? Oh, it won't be Christian-like. No, here comes the Christians. Oh, that won't be Christian-like. Well, I'm sorry. When my sweet mother has cried and cried and cried like she has sometimes, sorry. This is what's wrong with humanity. We have too many people who want to act like this right here, and they can't debunk me in the military world, in the military laws, the military orders, military customs, military publications, the federal laws, the federal orders, everything. Same thing with country music. They're all woke. A lot of them are woke. They're liberals. They hate America. They claim they love America. They hate it. Because if you preach anything woke, if you're anything woke and all this diversity and inclusion bullcrap that you're shoving down people's throats, you don't love America. That's not America. If you're a Christian, you'll act like a Christian. If you're an American, you'll act like an American. If you know how to walk the walk, you will walk the walk. You won't have to say it all the time. You'll just do it. That's how cowboys done. You just do it. You just get on the bull and ride. You just rope if you rope. You ride the horse if you ride the horse. You plow the field if you plow the field. You don't talk about it. You just do it. So that's what everybody needs to do in your life. Stay in your lane. Focus on wholesome things. Focus on things that you can tangibly look up. We had that conversation today on a podcast. People asking, how do you discern who to listen to? By the fruits of their labor will you know. The fruits of their work. The Bible says you can judge. When people say you can't judge me, you ain't reading the same Bible I'm reading. The Bible says I can judge a tree by the fruit it bears. Judge not lest ye be judged. That line, you got to go read the context of it. You got to go read the context of it. If I'm riding down the road in Macon, Georgia, and I see a guy on the side of the road and I don't know anything about his life and he's just standing there and I yell a bad word at him or I call him a name, that's judging. If I see someone robbing a store or taking an old lady's purse or doing something like that, first off, I'm going to take action. Second, they're going to be punished for their crime. Because why? The fruits of their quote-unquote labor wasn't labor at all. They displayed their character. They displayed their fruits. See, a lot of people who quote from the Bible ain't reading the context of the Bible. They're not reading the origin of the scripture and all the other scriptures around it. The time period, the terminology, the language. Same thing with country music. And you're not going to know country music because it's been secret. It's secret society, baby. It's all about the secrecies. But because I've been in there, and because God shielded me the whole time, I had a major record label executive, former. He was a major for 17 years. He's discovered every single artist you've heard. You've heard all their names. I'm not going to name them because it'd give them away. But he told me one time, he said, Derek, you were so honest. There's only two things going to happen to you in this industry. You're either going to be screwed, abused, ran over, treated like dirt because you're so honest. You want everything done by the etiquette, the standard, the protocol, by the rules, by the book. If the rules read this, that's how I wanted it done. And that's how I operated working with them. And they loved it. I had a schedule. I went by that schedule. I went by everything. And then if something happened, they knew I had everything documented and I could go right back to it. And I'm still that way to this day. That's why I tell people, don't try me. I'm 5 steps ahead of you always. I got every receipt known to man. I save stuff that most people would delete because I think, you know what? That might come back to get me one day. This artist might claim that I didn't do this, or I didn't write that, or I didn't produce this, and I most certainly did, and it's documented here, here, and here, and here, and it's done. So don't try me. Don't try to double cross me. I'm like President Trump now. I'm not him, but like he told Republicans, you better not double cross me. If you try to double cross me, I will scorn you, and I will expose you. And if negative publicity is publicity, and if people want to gravitate towards that, you're still going to get it. I will expose you. Because I have everything. Everything. Every receipt. Every trail. You don't want to double cross me. And it's just like he said, you're either going to be screwed over, abused, ran over, lied to, backstabbed, and everything, or you're going to navigate through this system and God's going to protect you because you're so honest. You're going to grow and you're going to meet everybody that you need to meet and have the discernment to let the ones go that you don't need. You're not exempt from meeting idiots. You're not exempt from meeting backstabbers. You're not exempt from meeting liars. You're not exempt from it. That's what people are struggling with all the politics right now. You're not exempt from evil or being around it. You just have to make sure you do what? You don't jump into bed with them. You don't get intertwined with them. You make sure that you prayed up and you're shielded and that you can look at anything and go, no, 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 and keep moving forward. Same thing in country music. You're going to meet all kinds of backstabbers, liars, and they're just trying to, just give me this, give me that. And they'll use your name. They'll use your name, like I said, they'll drive you in the ground because of what? They want the fame. And they want fame. They want fortune. They're not doing it because they love the lyrics. They're not doing it because, oh man, I wrote this great song today. You got to hear where this steel guitar comes in on it. Oh, it's going to give you chills. No, they don't talk like that. Major record label executive. And you got to shield it all. And you got to keep navigating. And you got to keep moving forward. And once again, cream always rises to the top. And if God wants you to be on the top, if He wants you to do whatever it is, my grandpa said this all the time. He said, there is not a mountain tall enough. There is not any cloud that can keep the sun from shining through if God wants you to have what He wants you to have. There's not a river that can't be stopped. If God wants you to have it, and you're doing everything by etiquette, standard, protocol, the right way, decency, wholesome, moral, integrity, accountability, responsibility, all those things in your life, whatever it is you're doing, even outside of country music, politics, whatever, if you're doing all those things, God knows. That's why God knows who's all lip service, and He knows who's trying right here. It ain't about if you slip up and say something you ain't supposed to. It's about your heart. It's about, can you hit your knees? Can you pray? Can you say, God, forgive me. I'm so sorry for, if you feel conviction, it's about your conviction. That's another thing that this society has forgotten about. Conviction. Conviction. You know, if you feel like that you hurt somebody, go to them. You ain't got to put it on Facebook. All you people out there putting all this crap all over Facebook and social media, all you want are other people to feel your whatever. If you're a true person, you'll go to someone off the screen, you'll call them or you'll meet them and you'll tell them, hey, I'm sorry for what I said about you. I'm sorry for what I did. Whatever it is. You don't have to make a debacle about it. You don't have to make a spectacle. You don't have to do any of that. Go straight to them. Go straight to them. When we get back to that in this nation on everything, and in the world, when we get back to that moral level and that decency and that level of respect, when we get back to that, we're going to be an amazing world again. when we get back to that. Same thing with music. Who would have ever thought music, something that is a gift from God, a talent, whether you're a writer, a singer, both, whatever it is, something that brings you out of a dark spot, something that inspires you, something that whatever it is, however it does. Who would have ever dreamt that we would have gotten to where we got, especially in country music? And when I moved to town, they told me same thing about George Strait. They were like, "Man, you need to take your hat off. There ain't no more cowboys, and they already got a cowboy. They already got George Strait." And I'm like, "Do you realize who was in the '90s? Mark Chestnut, Tracy Byrd, Tracy Lawrence, Ricky Van Shelton, George Strait, Billy Dean." I mean, now Billy didn't wear a hat. That's right. Maybe he did it occasionally. I'm trying to remember. Let's see. Clay Walker, Chad Brock, Paul Brandt, Wade Hayes. Oh, Wade Hayes. Oh, there's one of the greatest singers you'll ever hear in your life, Wade Hayes. Great. Oh my goodness, I get chills talking about Wade Hayes. Paul Brandt said him, David Kirsch. They all wore hats. And they all looked the same. They didn't look the same, but jeans, boots, steel guitar, all the same instruments, and their music was different. And now all the dudes look like they rated, once again, the 75% off rack at Rue 21 or Affliction, and they got their skinny jeans. Oh, don't forget the skinny jeans. Oh, don't forget those. We gotta have the skinny jeans out there. Gotta have the fat guys like remember Chris Farley in the movie Tommy Boy? Fat guy in a little coat. Right? Now we got the fat guys in the skinny jeans. And they're all country. Oh, I took a wrong turn today on a dirt road and I drove 10 miles and whoo! I'm country. Woo! Yep. Where did it go? Where did the world go? A moment of silence for country music. And then you had Alan Jackson. So I went back, look, I made sure I was correct on my first video. Alan Jackson in 1999. See, everybody at that time period that were in major record label seats, most of them were still old school a little bit. Some of them were still hanging on. Some still hanging on. All right, same in the publisher seats. Most of you never heard of publishers in your life, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but I'm saying, like, most people didn't even know publishers existed in the songwriting world, and it's still a secret society. You can't just go up to them, "Hey, I wrote some song." Oh, no. You got to push the little button on their door, and if they don't know your name, you're not talking to anybody. Sorry, see ya, send an email. No, it ain't what you think, what Music Row, even what's left of Music Row. And there's the thing Alan Jackson sang about in Chasing That Neon Rainbow. "Well, I made it up the Music Row, but Lordy, don't the wheels turn slow." Well, that's what country music's all about, Music Row. They've torn down Music Row just about now. I drive up and down Music Row. It's a one-way, and a one-way the other. You can't even recognize it. I took my mother and a few people up it not long ago, and I said, well, this used to be a recording studio. This used to be George Strait's office. This used to be, it's all condos now. Nashville. Nashville don't care either. It ain't Nashville. Nashville could care less about country music. It's all about the woke, liberal, top 20. And they've destroyed everything around there. So, Alan Jackson singing about Music Row and Chasing That Neon Rainbow. Well, then, in 99, it was the same year they recorded Murder on Music Row. See, and everybody hears that now, and that's been, I mean, it's a 25-year-old song, 26 years old, whenever it was actually written. But Murder on Music Row was a massive statement because they couldn't touch George Strait and they couldn't touch Alan Jackson because they had made so much money. So they just kind of had to, like, hope that it played down. Well, it did, because we had people with no spines, no backbone, no integrity. Nobody stood up with George Strait and Alan Jackson. The two biggest names in country music at the time, nobody stood up to it. Where were you, Garth? Where were you, Mr. Liberal, Mr. Libtard, Mr. Fat Cowboy from Oklahoma? Where'd you go? Why'd you go woke liberal? Why didn't you stand up? Where were you all? Oh, because you're woke. Because you're libtards. Tim McGraw. Supposed to be a country boy from Louisiana. Money talks, don't it, Tim? Oh, Timmy boy. Money talks, don't it? You freaking woke libtards. You went against your own roots. You went against your heritage, your roots. Money talks and bullshit walks, as a saying. Well, George Strait, Alan Jackson, they're singing Murder on Music Row. They made a statement and nobody else stood with them. Kind of like you people in COVID. Oh, speaking of which, funny how these two parallel. Funny how all of these people who have these spines out there with their mouth, this is what they call their spine. And you had a few people who quit their jobs and said, you know what, I'm not taking it. You can't tell me to take and put something in my body. Whoever you are out there, if you stood up and you walked out, I love you. Kudos to you for having a spine. Thank you for having a spine, and thank you for leading the way when all the other cowards still say, well, my boss told me I was going to lose my job if I didn't take it. You were supposed to walk out. You were supposed to stand up. You were supposed to walk out. You failed the test, people. You failed it. So don't come in here acting like you're all, when the dust is settled, don't act all cowboy when the dust is settled. When the little strap is taken off the nuts of the bull, which makes the bull buck, don't act when the bull can just be ridden, but just like a horse can be ridden, don't act all cowboy then. Oh no. Same thing in country music. All of you artists that had a big name in that era when it counted the most, when you had George Strait at the top of his game and Alan Jackson at the top of theirs, you all stood down. You had balls the size of BBs. All right, your spine looks like a freaking spaghetti noodle. You're part to blame. You're the reason why country music looks the way it looks right now. And every single one of you that I know personally, you gripe, you complain, you moan about it, but you're the one that didn't stand up for it. And that's why your paycheck looks like doo-doo now, because you didn't have a spine when it counted. And the same thing with people out there. When it counted, you didn't stand up with your friends that had the spine. If everybody would have stood up like the movie Rudy, if you remember that movie, a great movie, great inspirational, the little walk-on player that gave us all every freaking practice. Every practice, he gave it all. He's getting beat up by all these big football players who had scholarships. He had more heart than every scholarship player on that team. He went out there and got beat up every single day because he loved Notre Dame football more than life itself. And he gave it all. He even quit one time because he thought, I'm never going to play the game. The coaches did not see his heart. They didn't see his love. They didn't see his passion, right? And when people say, look at Derek Jonhson, he's yelling. It's called passion, you idiots. It's called passion. It's called love. And it wants people to love it too. You want people to love it. Love this country the same way. Love country music the same way. Come on, Rudy. And every single player, every time he went to the chart to see if his name was on the roster, if he was going to get to dress out for the game, every single game, His name was not there. He was a walk-on. Anybody who understands the walk-on system understands what I'm talking about. His name was not there. His name was not there. Every week, every year, he played. And then finally, the captains of the team went to all the players on the team. They walked in there to the head coach. Here's my jersey, coach. If Rudy doesn't play, I'm not playing. Every player walked in there. If Rudy doesn't play, I'm not playing. If Rudy doesn't play, I'm not playing. Every single player walked in there. That's where you failed the test, Americans. You failed the test. You let the few down that had the spine. Same thing with all you artists out there. All you who claim to be, some of you patriots now, but you still have all of the current signed artists on your tours right now. And you claim that you are a patriot. You're not a patriot. You're a coward. You're all mouth. You're no spine whatsoever. Because you love your cushion life. Remember, I talk about it all the time. Once again, in my political stuff, in the military, the government side of things. Right? When wealthy people, wealthy men say, give me liberty or give me death, carries a whole different kind of weight than when a poor man says, give me liberty or give me death. When a wealthy man says, I don't need my money anymore, I don't care about my life, I don't care about the lust, I don't care about the food, I don't care about everything I have, I'm willing to put it all down for the love of my nation. That's what Donald Trump did. So all you haters out there, you can go to hell, because it's probably where you're going to go if you don't get your act straight. That man left a billionaire status to take all the hatred, the mockery, the ridicule, all this stuff for the love of his nation. And the laws and the orders that he put into place, and the laws and the orders that show daily, the laws and the orders that are being enforced, show the military is in multiple operations. And all these people, if you're still gravitating to all these experts who are blowing smoke up your dress about the trials and all this, and they just want you to click on there and love it and know, oh man, they bring in the news. It ain't news. Where it counts is how this nation operates, which is legislation. Is it perfect? No, it's not perfect. But the more we try to perfect legislation that operates this country, the quicker we're going to get it solved. Not all this bullshit drama that you watch all the day, all these blue check experts all over Twitter and all over Rumble and all these places. If they're not talking about laws and orders, if they're not talking about legislation, then they're worthless. They have no spine, because the man that went through all the hatred, the ridicule, the mockery, everything that he's gone through is all outlined in laws and orders, and you can see it if you'll read it. It's the same thing, though, with country music. No, you can't see it because it's a secret society. And I'm showing you, I'm the one artist that navigated it all. I know every facet from top to bottom and how it all works and how it all intertwines and where the money goes here and how they do this and how they do it here. We can take it over, but you got to have a spine again. You got to want to be a participant of it. So all of you people, you failed. A lot of you failed during the COVID, the pandemic. All right? You're walking around with a mask on your face, and you go, dang, did someone fart? If you can smell a fart, do you think it's going to stop the greatest pandemic in the world? I mean, when you really think about it, and I looked crazy back then, and I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. I'm perfectly fine. It's paid off for me in a different kind of manner, right? Because I'm getting to do what? I'm getting to say, country music, you let the wrong one slip through the cracks, baby. You let the wrong guy go through. In all reality, I was the most loyal to a secret society system until what? Until I figured out how Billboard works. Once I figured out how Billboard works, and hey, I'll be honest, I worked in country music from 2007, 8, 9, 10, 11, left, went to the military, came back, I maintained those relationships. 2016, recorded my first album with a major producer, with all major session musicians. 2017, tried to get a record deal all during that time. 2018, recorded a few things during that time period. Muscle Shoals, Alabama, which is where I still do most of my recording. And then 2019 is when I met my team, my Billboard team. 2020 is when we had our first debut. And it wasn't until 2019 when we entered the talks with the Billboard team. So all those years before that, I knew how publishing worked. I knew how publishing deals operated because I had one. I knew how major labels operated from a certain side of the system. I knew how every facet worked, but even I didn't know how Billboard operated until those meetings in 2019. And in less than 5 seconds, in one way, but in less than a minute, in 1 minute's time, all of those 12 years spent in Nashville, outside of the 4 that I was in the military, as far as that portion goes, even though I still knew the contacts, I still, when I could write, when I was in the Army, when I could actually write a song and wrote a few, when I could write, I did that. So in that 12-year time period, all of those 12 years, but especially the 4 hard years in Nashville, every single day doing what I did, although it was ruined in 1 minute's time. 1 minute's time, it ruined it all. But it also ruined it in a good way. In 1 minute's time, my whole world flipped upside down. And I had it all. Now, I still needed the Billboard hit, but I'm sitting there smiling going, wow. In 12 years of country music, this is how it works? Wow. But we needed a chart first, and then we did it, and then we did it a second time. Bad beat the system. My guys gave me insider records. They're called insider records because fans don't know how it works. Most artists in Nashville who claim to be artists and songwriters that are doing all the writers' rounds every day, they don't know that there's a second avenue to go to Billboard. They will know now. But there it was. We had the chart, and we did. We got the 2 charts, and we did it so bad. And this is where I'm the artist that gets the credit and the songwriter that gets the credit, but it's really my team that did it. And the it is what you got to read in the book, because it's like, it wasn't just me. That's why I put a book out, because it's not just me that's getting credit for it. But in 1 minute, in 60 seconds, the meeting we had, my family and the major record label, in 1 minute, that 12 years was like, oh my gosh. I spent 12 years and did not know this, and this is how it works. And that's how it works. And voila. And it's really, it's simple as far as the formula and the format of what I put in the book. That portion's simple. The part that's not simple are the woke fans. The fans. Getting fans to appreciate that, hey, you don't like this artist because you think because it's a great song. It's supposed to be a great song. It's written by hit songwriters. It's supposed to be great. So when you say, I love it because it's great and it talks about my life, It's supposed to. Duh. That's why you love it. But why do you love it? Who put it in your ears? Did you discover it? Did you have power over that? No, you didn't. And when they say that country radio doesn't matter, it don't matter what you think. That's the system that goes through. Long before it gets to your playlist on Spotify, it went through the radio system. And if it made it through, you know, I'm not going to use another example, but we know something else in life that a lot of libtards don't want to identify. But, you know, when something goes through and it gets through and it sticks and you're the one, I think we know what that process is, right? All right? It's the same thing. That song goes through a process long before it gets to your playlist. All right, so when you say that, oh, I love it because it's great, well, duh, because it went through a system long before it got to you. So I'm teaching you that system. It doesn't hurt to know that system, because why doesn't it hurt? It gives you, the fan, more power to do what? To go look up artists that are unsigned on the Billboard, to support them if you like their music. Someone sent me a message earlier on Instagram and said, hey, can you tell me some artists that I don't know that are not top 20 that you know that you've been talking about? Can you show me some of them? I did. I named a few of them. She found a song that she loves. She was like, oh my gosh, this song is amazing. It's one of my buddies. And he's written some hit songs you've known, but you know, you might find something you actually like and love. And you might actually get to help some artists out there. You might be the one all of you gravitates to, and it skyrockets them, right? So, I mean, you're getting to participate. You're getting to be assistance. You're getting to be aid. You're getting to be help, right? It's empowering you. It's empowering you to know how they became your favorite artist. And then when they get arrested or they do something stupid and you're over there commenting in the comment box making the algorithms go crazy, that's when they call negative publicity being publicity. You're only helping to it. Even if you don't like what's going on and you're commenting, it don't matter. You're aiding to the algorithm. You're helping it no matter what. And they're over there laughing behind the scenes. They don't care what you think. They're laughing right on to the bank. They don't care what they did, if they got arrested. They don't care if they did it not necessarily on purpose, but whatever they did, they don't care. They'll get on there and they'll do their apology, because why? What's the apology for? More publicity. Empower yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. You have the power. You didn't know the secret society was back here? No. But the other thing, really quick, before I go, I didn't realize it's 1 a.m. Whew, fun, that's cool. But is this. We had a comment the other day, and it's only a couple. Stop yelling at us. We're your fans. We're the ones supporting you. I'm not yelling at you. If you're on here and you support me, I'm not yelling at you. I'm yelling at the people that you need to get this video to that don't have a clue what's going on. Same on the political side. Same on the country music side. I'm not yelling at you. Why would I yell at you? If you're in the comment box, I'm not yelling at you. I'm passionate, for one. I'm not yelling. I'm passionate. I can't believe that we have this many people in 2024 that want to make a comment in a comment box about, oh, I can't find any of his hits on Billboard. Well, do you think that maybe there's something about country music that you don't know? Do you think that maybe there's only a reason why you only know a few artists? You ever thought about that? See, I can't believe that we have people in the comment box that are willing to make themselves look ignorant. I mean, it's really, that's the way it looks to someone like me. I'm laughing at you because I'm like, I know if I don't know every hit artist or songwriter or publisher, I can get to them. I don't want to now. But if back when I was in and I was, trying to build my catalog and that any hit artist, any hit songwriter, I can get to them because I know all their people. I know all the people. I know how it all works. I know how to talk to them. I know how to communicate with them. I know how to use etiquette, protocol, and standard to get to them. I don't care to anymore. It don't do any good. You can write with every hit writer in town. You can be on the Billboard chart. I've done it, and you're not getting a record deal. So, and you don't want one really anyway, actually, because they're not going to promote you. If you're conservative, if you're a Christian and conservative by President Trump standards and being a hardcore cowboy, real hardcore, don't let some of these out there fool you. There's some cowboys, quote unquote, that wear the cowboy hat and they look all conservative and they talk all conservative, but they ain't really. They're doing what Kid Rock said. There's only way you can stay in the top 20 right now in country music as it sits. You are behind the scene. You are one kind of, you know what? There's just no way possible with the way the money is. With the way it is right now, they're all woke, they're liberals, and there's some that appear to be conservative. Oh boy, but they ain't. Oh, they ain't. And they got a lot of people fooled. They got a lot of fans fooled. It's a dirty system. It's a dirty secret society. So I'm not yelling at you. I really don't care what people think anymore. I actually don't, as far as like the naysayers, the negativity, the haters are where they're supposed to be in the first place. Back here, I don't care anymore. It's like you got to reach a point like our founders. They were wealthy. They didn't care anymore. They didn't care. They cared in a different manner. Well, they didn't care about the what you thought, what you were gonna say, what you were gonna think when they spoke their mind, their piece. They didn't care, right? Because they knew where their heart was. They knew where their life was. They knew where their motives were. They knew where their intentions were. And so, same way with me. I care, but I don't care from the standpoint of, I don't care what the labels think. You can't blackball somebody from a rigged system. It's already rigged. That's the blackball. So when something's out of your control and you've been there and you've seen it and you want other people to see it, like, no. It's kind of like a bridge being out. There's a story up in one of the states I've lived in, great state of Oklahoma. I got a lot of family there. There was a bridge out, and there was two guys standing there waving. They saw cars going in, and they're waving. They're getting out in the road, and they're trying to wave, don't. And people were swerving around them. Here's two guys standing in the middle of the road now, in a foggy environment, risking their lives, and they're trying to wave, trying to get cars to stop. And cars were swerving around them because they got to go to work. And they used race in this scenario to show people that it wasn't, you got a black guy and a white guy out there, so it wasn't, it wasn't certain cars going right off into the river. Died. People died. Because people were in a hurry to go where? But it's a little buck, to make a buck, right? And you got two guys out there desperately going, stop, the bridge is out, don't go ahead, don't, stop, don't go. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing in country music. I've seen multiple females. I know female artists who have been proposition after proposition after proposition. I know females who have been taken to the cleaners and back. You name it. And I'm talking about good ones. I'm not talking about the ones that are being whatever. I'm talking about some decent people. And thank God they weren't amenable. They weren't controllable. Thank God. Thank God that they didn't let their dreams and their aspirations get bigger than their morals, because a lot of times those morals still end up being dead-end roads. A lot of times those guys don't follow through with their, if you do this for me, I'll do this for you, which is garbage. Males, we have it different than females, right? It's a lot different. males are easier to market than females, and data shows that. For whatever reason, females will go watch a male singer before they'll watch a female. So that's on you, ladies. I don't know why y'all do that, but you can explain that. I ain't talking about you good people. I'm talking about the ones that do that. All right, so women empowerment. If you're not supporting female artists, then you can't be saying women empowerment because you ain't doing that. So males, we got it a lot different in country music. So it's a lot more. It's a lot different because it's a male-driven market. It's ladies, take notes. Take notes, ladies. You wanna have a great career. you wanna be in a position in country music. My book's the one to read and figure out. And I can, we can have classes on this and show how to do this and that and be in a position of power. It's a male-driven, dominated male market. It is. It's almost like even doctors to this day. I think it's still like 88% male doctors out there. I mean, so country music's the same way. It's mainly males in position of power. And they'll talk about women empowerment, and they talk about empowering women, and they got this women's club in Nashville. It ain't working. It ain't working. Because it's still what? No wholesome decency, etiquette, protocol, standard, integrity, transparency, honesty, accountability, responsibility. They're lacking the things that they need here to make the other things operate and function. Because there's too much lying and backstabbing and greed and money hungry and power hungry and control hungry. So until that's addressed and taken care of and put in full exposure, then the wheels on the bus go what? Round and round, round and round, round and there we are. So, I've told it, the last record label meeting I was in, I said, I will spend every breath I have for you treating me like I just moved to town last week with a doll named Fargo and a loaf of bread and Spam. I'm going to spend every breath I have if my numbers blow up. This is before I went viral. Y'all got to remember that. See, they asked me what my streams and my revenues and my social media numbers were. I'm on the Billboard chart, top chart in there. That's the only thing they score their hits on, Billboard Country Airplay. Not 100, not 200. They don't care about those. Any artist that says that is God love them. I won't say names, but God love them. You're spending all your time trying to build a base to get downloads, and if it don't get there, then you're going to spend all those years doing that when you can just bypass that and go straight to the top chart through what I've unveiled, the first artist to do it. So I'm sitting there. My social media was like 12,000 back then on this page here, Derek Jonhson Country. My Instagram was pathetic. Because why? Fans only know top 20. Why do they know top 20? Because that's all they're given. So how is an artist like me and all my buddies who are unsigned supposed to compete with major record labels? You can't do it. You cannot compete with major record label numbers. So why do they have the audacity to ask me what my revenue streams and numbers are, knowing that you cannot compete with them? That shows their incompetence. They are inept, and that also was them doing what? Insulting me. And not only me, my team. Because they knew I knew how to get on their chart without them. But they also knew for me to get the top 20, I had to have one of them. They knew that. And so when they tried to steer me towards a publishing deal, that was the last label meeting I was in. And then a week later, their little assistant calls. It's not the record label executive. It's the little minion. It's a little like the assistant. They'll call you. Hello. Hi. Well, we've decided to pass. We're not signing any new artists right now. We're focused on the artists we have and the songwriters we have. So it was great meeting you, and we wish you the best of luck. And the next week in Music Row magazine, they're signing a new artist. So they're liars. They all are. They lie. Music Row magazine, you're a bunch of crooks too. You've all gone woke. You've all sold out. You've sold out every producer's email for an email list. All right, so you producers out there, you wonder why you get a bunch of crap pitched to you. It's because you got your own colleagues who've sold out. All right, they're a bunch of trash too. Music Row magazine. Nothing you can do about it. Nothing you can do to me. You're trash. And so that's the phone call. And I said, whoa, don't hang up, hold on, let me say something. Because I've been in your position before. I said, and you need to hear this. And I want you to hear this. And I want you to be a little minion that you are. I want you to be a little messenger, you little brown noser, you little butt kisser. I want to make sure that you take this back to your record label executive. Because I said, this is about my third record label meeting I've had. And I said, and I'm going to tell you what, I want it to be on record. I want it to be on record. I said, right now, I'm nobody. I'm nobody to you. I'm on Billboard chart, your chart. I didn't write this chart. I didn't make this chart up. I didn't make it the top chart in the genre. I didn't make it the major record labels chart. I didn't make it the one that you score all your hits on. I'm on your chart. Remember that. I'm on your chart. Not my chart. Not all the other artists' chart. Your chart. This is your market. This is your monopoly. This is your conglomerate. Now remember this. You don't know how I'm on your chart. And that's my leverage. I'm not giving up my leverage until I want to. I'm not going to tell you what we did to get there and how we did it. But I want you to remember this. Mark my words. If God lets me slip through the cracks somehow, if somehow my social media ever blows up to these numbers that you talk about, you think I'm going to crawl back? You think I'm going to email you, call you, text you, and say, hey, my numbers are finally where you want them. I finally have followers out there. I got it. You think I'm going to be that guy? Do you really think that with my resume of the hit artists I've worked with, the hit producers, the hit songwriters, the former major record labels, do you really think that I'm going to come crawling back to any one of you major record labels? And I feel bad for any label person that might be a good person. But if I ever blow up, mark my words, I'm going to expose country music like country music's never been exposed before. Because of all of you woke, liberal, all of you backstabbing hypocrites, you liars, you thieves, you con artists, you spineless cowards who do not recognize the business you claim to all be in. It's a business. Y'all claim it's a business. It's an industry, quote unquote. And here I am with the most plush resume known to man, with the best team known to man, the best hardworking team known to man that every one of you know. You think that I'm going to crawl back. You got another thing coming. I will spend every breath I have exposing the very thing I love the most. I will expose it all for the integrity of country music, the history, and all those who paved the way to let me walk in their footsteps. Those songwriters did not let me in the room because, they thought, he's going to be the next great big thing in the future. They didn't have a clue I was going to blow up in politics. They didn't have a clue any of that. They took a chance because I had already built a name at where I was, which is why I tell artists and producers out there, be what you are where you are. Stop acting like you're bigger than what you are. Be where you are. Build where you are. Embrace where you are. Love where you are. Grow where you are. Hold what you have where you are. Quit trying to be something you're not yet. You're not there yet. Don't worry about it. Build where you are. Every position I ever held in country music, I gave that position everything I had. I knew if I was meant to grow in it, God would have a door open when I needed to walk through a door. But sometimes you were sitting there, y'all pull on the doors, and God don't want you going through the door yet. Some of you have pulled the freaking doorknob off, and He's not ready for you to go there yet. And I've seen that. There's all these producers out there claiming to be a producer. You don't have a hit to your name. You don't even know what a hit song sounds like. You don't even know what a hit production sounds like. You don't even know any of the process. You can if you'll embrace where you are and seek to find the people who have been there and done that. That's how you're going to do that. You're gonna have to know someone who's been there and done that to show you that formula. But we're also not going to show it to you if we know that you're just using us. And there's been cases where we've written before with somebody and then we don't write again. And then that person ends up driving that song into the ground and people are like, hey, do you have any more? Nope. You know why they don't have any more? Because they screwed over. They try to use someone's name oh, I wrote with so-and-so. And then they try to go over to so-and-so's friends. And so-and-so's friends are like calling, hey, do you know this person? What are they doing? Well, they want to write with me. You know, one write, and they think they're a writer. It don't work like that. Every write that I've gotten, every single hit writer that I've gone to, I waited for it. Every hit writer, massive hit writer, I waited till I had a hit on Billboard to write with every hit writer. And they'll tell you that. And I went through my team. And I've had them text me and go, dude, you know you can text me. You know I love you, man. You can text me. I said, man, it's etiquette protocol. I wanted you to feel that respect for you paving the way for me to get to write with you. I went through my team, had my team reach out to their team, and their team schedule the write. It wasn't the fact that I couldn't text them or call them. It's called etiquette. It's called protocol. It's called standard. It's called respecting what they did long before I ever thought of doing it myself. That's what a lot of you artists out there are missing. That's what a lot of you songwriters are missing. You want to be here, but you don't want to go through what I've been through. You don't want to go through what they went through. Oh, no. You just want it all. I want it right now. I want it now. That J.G. Wentworth commercial. It's my money, and I want it now. You're borrowing money. That's the mindset we got out there. You're borrowing money because you ain't got no money. It's my money, and I want it now. It ain't your money, you dummies. Come on. Be where you are at what you are. Give credit where credit's due. Always. And then grow. If you're meant to grow, you'll grow. But a guy like me, I've gone to the highest chart in country. There's nothing left. There's nothing left. And if I wanted 40 top 40s, if I wanted 100, I could have it. But you don't make anything back there. And it's wasting money. It's wasting time, energy, money when it don't matter. 100 top 40s don't matter. Because the way the system's set up right now they've got it to where you got to subscribe to see the whole Billboard chart. When you go to Billboard.com, you can't even see the whole Billboard. You can't even see the top 20 now. You got to subscribe to see the whole thing. So, you get to choose, fans. Now you get to decide. You get to decide, and there's a book there. Every single songwriter, every single artist needs to see it. And like I said, I give away a lot, and as soon as I get a bunch in, I'm going to give away to a bunch of artists and songwriters I know. I give a lot more. And it won't take that many artists to do it. It won't take but 8 or 12 artists to really flip the chart around. If we get the right artists, we get the right talent, and we get people who are dedicated to not being bought out. We need artists that if the labels did come, nope, we're doing something different here. And we're going to keep growing, and we're going to keep growing, we're going to keep growing. And all of you patriots out there, hey, keep sharing. when we have other artists doing stuff, share their stuff. Share it. Right? So that's how we take it over. That's how we get it back. That's how we put wholesome quality, not just music, but people back in these slots. And if you're out there and you want a job in country music, on the business side, that's easy. That is an easy process to do. Because once again, it's a secret society. Most of it is your will, your initiative and your will. And you got to do it every day. And you gotta know the language. You gotta know how to communicate. But it's easy when it comes to as far as like, do you want it? If you want it, it's there. We need more women in country music because women have power. Women have communication skills. Females, it's like there's places there. But sometimes you gotta crawl before you walk. Once again, but if you want it, it's there. So feel free to message my social media girl, social media manager, Felicia. I'm sure she's still watching because she's great. She's great at what she does. She's been working with me now for 4 years now, over 4 years. So she's seen it all. And she's learned a lot too herself. She can tell you. I mean, I told her it's going to be eye-opening whenever I first hired her on. But she's hung through it and she stuck through it. She's learned a lot. She's seen a lot, and she's seen a lot of backstabbing people. She's seen a lot of she's seen a lot of stuff, and But she's thick-skinned. She's positive. She's always got a positive, kind word. She's loving and she's caring. She'll call my mother out of the blue, and she keeps up with my family. She's just a great person. That's what we need in country music, and we need people who don't discriminate about what you look like, where you come from, and country music does that a lot. They discriminate on looks, especially. If you don't look a certain way, and that's also what we got to get rooted out. If a female don't look a certain prim and proper and little this, that, and other, skimpy and all that, these record labels, they're trash. Man, they're trash. So, 3 hours and 16 minutes, I think that's a perfect place to stop because of John 3:16, and which it'll obviously end up being 3:17 by the time I get done here. But, I love country music. I do. I love the history, but I don't love where it is now. It's a disgrace where it is now. It's not music. And if you ever get real good country music in your soul, there's a matter of fact, she watches me a lot. I'll give her a shout out. Matter of fact, the wife, the widow of the legendary Vern Gosden. All right, she watches a lot, and so shout out Miss Beverly. But I mean, her husband, woo! Not only was he a great songwriter, but he was a great singer. But versus that, he was a great songwriter and a great singer. I mean, whichever one. Great artist. I mean, I think he's one of the greatest country music singers of all time. And he has a country name, Vern Gosden. And guess where he's from? Alabama. All right, Woodland, Alabama. Shout out to small town USA, Woodland, Alabama. I hope they have a hometown sign of him. I haven't been over there in years. I don't know, but we got to get more appreciation back in our hometowns of people who do things on a bigger level. Not that it's about that in one way, but my gosh, I mean, you get on the biggest level in country music and your hometown don't even support you. And it's just an atrocity once again. But Vern Gosden, I mean, I can name people. James House, great artist, great songwriter. Look at David Lee Murphy, wrote all of his records. Clint Black, how does Clint Black not get remembered right now? I mean, my gosh, you're talking about a monster songwriter. wrote all of his hits. He solo wrote a lot. I mean, look at all the great artists of the 90s that people don't even remember, that should be remembered. Mark Chestnut? Are you serious right now? He's got a new record coming out. You can get it. Go to his website. Buy his album. Mark Chestnut? Oh my gosh. Clay Walker? Wade Hayes? Paul Brandt? Chad Brock? John and Audrey Wiggins? Paul Overstreet? I mean, we can sit here and name artists. The Gibson Miller Band? Boy Howdy? I mean, the Forrester Sisters? The Bellamy Brothers? Mary Chapin Carpenter? Patty Loveless? I mean, we can keep going here. Look at all the artists that have been forgotten about. I mean, you don't hear anybody talking about them, and they were great. Pam Tillis? Oh my gosh. And she's the daughter of a legend herself, Mel Tillis. I mean, you know, it's like, it's an atrocity where country music's gotten. And all these young artists talking about, and they'll try to come out with a song. They don't care about that artist. They only are preying on the generations like me. They don't care about that. They don't care about the shit. They don't care. They don't care. And I know a lot of them. Thank God I don't know some of the ones now, though. Like, some of the I'm glad I don't. I'm glad I don't. And that's the other thing, real quick. Country music fans think that everybody's buddy-buddy. And they're not. Some of those artists don't even know each other. They don't like each other. They might take a picture, or they might do whatever if they have to. Y'all quit acting like it's a family now. It ain't no family. It's all about money, greed, and power. Social media. It's bad. But you're naturally going to have people go, oh, it's because you didn't make it. You're just a sore loser. I guess so, because I made it on the top chart in country music that you don't even know exists and that you don't know anything about, which is how all of the artists that you love makes it there. I'm a sore loser. So you're always going to have some ignorant person out there saying that, but, you know, they just don't get it, and they're never going to get it. And they're like what Kid Rock said. They probably will. They'll probably suck a golf ball through a garden hose as well, just like their favorite singers do. So I probably need to get off of here because I've used just about every colloquial I can use to all these pathetic, spineless people that don't care about country music. And it's also, while I'm on the disgrace train, all of you 90s artists that are trying to stay relevant with all these younger artists, you're just as much as the problem as well. And you calling that diversity and inclusion, and you got your Wranglers on, and you're all country, and they're over here looking like they rolled straight out of Compton, and they're about to take up a 7-Eleven. That's not diversity. That's not inclusion and all the other bull crap you want to spew out there. That's you having no spine when it counted way back here with George Strait and Alan Jackson. George Strait ain't never had no identity crisis. All the 90s. So why are you kowtowing to these, whatever they are? Because money talks, don't it? Money talks. It ain't about the love. It ain't about the song. Money talks and bull crap walks. Whew. Man, I wonder if I can make it 4 hours. No, someone won't watch it. That's all right, though. But we got to take it back, and we're going to take it back, and we're going to take it down, and we're going to take it over the best we can. And if we have to make our own, if we have to, I mean, I know enough people now that maybe they even may have the power to make a system of our own. I know coders. I know, who knows? We may have to just make our own system where people can come get actual real music, and not have to, pay an arm and a leg. No, but then again, support the songwriters, support the artists, in the best way possible, because there's a lot of great music out there. There's a lot of great artists out there. And I'm not saying you just got to be on Billboard to be great, but if you want to be a part to take it down, then that's what you got to do. You got to support every Billboard unsigned artist in order to take down the system of country music. Then you got to flip that algorithm. You got to flip it. So, Rattletrap1776.com is where the book is, the actual book that you can order through me, or if you want Kindle, Amazon Kindle, your computer, that's where most of the buys have been coming from. It's not a long read. I think it's if you're on a phone, it says 360 pages, but that's because it's a little tiny phone. The actual length of the book is 198 pages. It's not long at all. And the longest paragraph is maybe that long. It's maybe four sentences long. I make it to where you're not going to get bored reading, and it's really a chronological order in a different way. So you're not going to, it's not going to be boring to read through it. You're going to be able to go, oh, that's what this is. And then I got the pictures in there, the Billboard chart, other artists that are on the Billboard. And I call out everybody without naming a name. So guess what that means? They can't sue me. See, stuff like this here, they can't sue. They can't sue because that's my opinion. And maybe it's not valuable, my opinion on them. But I have receipts to back it up. So it's up to you, the fans, to go, wow, this is the Billboard chart. There's Sammy Kersaw's chart. There I am with Sammy. I can prove my hits. I can prove them. All right? But because Billboard has done what they've done, guess who else can't prove their hits, quote unquote, unless they were on a chart with a hit artist that put the chart out. Look at all the unsigned artists that can't prove to their friends and their family. Think about that. Think about how hard that is for them. Think about if they weren't on the chart when Sammy Kershaw or some artist was way down here in the 40s too, that was once a hit artist way back. Think about that. Think of all the people that can't show the ignorant people out there. Well, I was on the chart here with Sammy Kershaw. Think about how God allowed that to happen for me. And unfortunately, it's not going to happen for a lot of other artists that are unsigned on the same top Billboard chart, that they can't do that too. So you think about that. Think about that. If you're a person out there making an ignorant thought or a comment, think about that. And just think about it. If that was your child, think about it if it was your kid. Think about it if it was your friend, your loved one. Think about it. No one wants to put the shoes on anymore. No one wants to think about if that was your friend, family, or loved one. So if it was your friend that you love their music, and you have a friend that's got, oh man, if they just had a chance. Can't have a chance if you won't listen to people who've been in the very top spot. So think about it. All right, 3 hours and 28 minutes, and it's time to roll. All right, so, like I said, I'm not yelling at you good people, you good fans, you good followers, you good, top fans. You got a lot of top fans, and you got a lot of great, and I don't even like the word fan, really. I personally don't. I think you're great people that follow my pages religiously. I see the shares down here. I can't see it on my phone over here, but I see the shares while we're sitting here on Jared Jonhson Country. 40 shares, 363 comments. So there's a lot of great people watching. I value every single one of you. I love you. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't be here. And that's so true. Look at all the artists that don't appreciate that. Look at all the ones that don't thank you. How many artists get on their pages and go live on their pages and thank you or talk to you and just have a late night of 3.5 hours? How many freaking top 20 artists get out there and talk to you like this? How many of them? How many of them even take the time outside of their meet and greets? How many of them take the time, unless they have to, if they're on their bus somewhere, their big old bus, and they get out at a gas station and someone recognizes them? Okay, how many of them take time to get on their social media and talk to you for 3.5 hours? How many do that? I'll wait, because it's going to be, we could wait for 3 years, not 3 hours and 30 minutes. We'd be waiting 3, 4, 10 years, because they don't do it. They don't care about you. They don't care about their fans. They don't care about them. They're not in the message box. They got someone doing that for them. All right? Felicia watches my inbox. Guess who's messaging you back? Me. Me. And it takes a long time to get to you, but I don't want someone thinking that I messaged them when it was somebody else messaging you. That's how conviction I have. I don't like that. I want to be the one going, blah, 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 blah. All right, you message me. Now, I don't message you about all this other bull crap out there, all these frauds and con artists that are using my name right now. Be careful. Be careful. I don't talk about quantum. I don't ask you, do you have your QFS and this, that, and that, and this, that, and that. You know, I don't do that. If you ask me a question, I deliver. All right? How many artists are doing that? How many of them? Oh, they'll tell you on the camera. They'll tell you at the award show, thank you so much. Yeah, I guess so. 30-second speech. Thank you for the... They're going right over there to their multi-million-dollar houses, their cars, and all their fancy stuff. That's all they care about. Lust and material things. How many are getting on, messaging their people all the time? How many? They sit on their phones all the time. They got their phones going. How many are getting on their social media every day? Speaking of which, really, that's what the other major record label, that last major record label, said we can barely get our top artist to get on his social media at least once a week. And you're asking me what my social media numbers are looking like? I'm sitting here busting my tail as a young artist, songwriter, and I'm on your Billboard chart as an unsigned artist. And you have the audacity to tell me in the same meeting that you can't even get your top artist to open his social media one time in the week and post something? So who's doing it for him? Oh, you are. And all those interns you have down the hall that you're using like a little rag doll who aren't getting paid. And they're, oh, I'll do anything. Oh, yes. Oh, ooh. And those little interns at Belmont and MTSU, Don't do it, ladies and gentlemen. Don't let your kids go there. Don't do that. It's a waste of time. They are not going to get a job when they get out. They're using them like little rag dolls while they can for no job opportunity when they get out. A music business degree is worthless. Because where's the job opportunity? It's not. It's a secret society. So there's that. Asking me what my streams are, what my numbers are, and they can't even get their artists. They can't get a top artist to get on one time during the week and post one post. So do you really think that all these bigger hit artists are they're not. They don't care about you. They care as long as they can go to their cushion, big fat Bentleys and all the other toys they got and all the other stuff, and they think they're invincible when they get arrested and all this stuff. That's the only time they thank you. All the way to the bank. They don't care. They don't care about you. If they did, they'd get on their social media and they'd talk to you just like this. Even if they didn't message you, they'd get on here and they'd talk to you just like this. They don't. They don't care about you. 3 hours and 33 minutes. About to cross over 3:34. They don't care about you. Keep supporting them. Make the rich get richer. Keep supporting them. Keep loading their bank account up. Keep loading up the top 20. That's what you're doing, fans, when you do that. It ain't about the song anymore. It ain't about that. All right, so I'm going to get off here. I'm going to get back on here. Like I said, I got 2 podcasts tomorrow, 10:30 and 3 p.m. I may even get back in here tomorrow night just because I love to. I do love you people. I do love all that you've shared. You share everything I put out. You put me here. That book becoming #1 bestseller in 3 days' time, you, every one of you. It's only because of you. And I give away, like I said, a lot of people I don't like saying stuff like that because then people, oh, he's talking about what he does. I don't like doing that either. It's like people when they put up multiple stuff that they do all the time. I'm like, well, I don't know. At least they're giving, but sometimes it's all for show. But every time I travel across the country, I give away books. Every restaurant I stop in, I give away books. When I'm a waiter, waitress, or whatever, I give away a book because it's educating somebody. And it's a way to give back. And it's a way to educate and give back at the same time. And speaking of which, it's it's May the 30th. So June the 8th and 9th and 10th, I'll be in Austin, Texas. I've got to do a remake, a show that I did with Roseanne Barr that was supposed to be out already, and we got to redo it. So I'll be in Austin, Texas. If you want to see me, if you're anywhere near Austin, I'll tell you where I'm at. And it will also, though, be a place where it's safe and secure because there are some crazies out there, unfortunately. So just remember that. If you want to act a fool, you can be treated like one. Pretty simple. That's not a threat. That's actually a promise. So you want to act like one, you can be treated like one. Stupid games get stupid prizes. All right, but if you're a lovable fan, a follower out there, I don't like the word fan, but once again, if you're lovable and you're near Austin or anywhere while I'm traveling through, if you got a book, or which I've signed majority of them, there was one batch that we had to get out really quick because we had so many come in that I didn't want a lot of the people waiting. So if you have one of those books, I'll sign it. If you want a picture, that's fine with me, but I'll do it, whatever. I'm never going to be too big or too good to get on here like all these other pansy singer-songwriters who don't care about you. I'll also be leaving there. I've got to be in Phoenix, Arizona, June the 10th, June the 11th through the 13th. I'll be in Phoenix, Arizona. And I love Tucson, so I'm probably going to drop down to Tucson or go through Tucson and up to Phoenix. And then I love Flagstaff, one of my favorite cities in the whole wide world. I just love Flagstaff, so I'm going to go up there. And then I'm going to go to California for, I don't know how long. It just depends on how long I want to be out there. So I'm going to go down to Los Angeles, LA, and over to Santa Monica, and also San Bernardino. I'm going to go down to Riverside. I'm gonna pretty much go everywhere all over what LA people don't like you calling it LA because it's not LA. But I still call it LA because, it's near Los Angeles. But I'm going to go to Riverside, San Bernardino, Huntington Beach, my favorite coast, let's see, this is why I always pronouncing it wrong. Anyway, it's Del Mar, Costa Del Mar, yeah. So, and then Laguna, all those regions, and then I'll go back up and I'm gonna roll all the way up to Napa Valley. In that regions, I love Napa Valley. It's a great place. I might go there in the San Jose a little bit, just depends. But I'm definitely not going through San Francisco, so I'll go up to San Jose. If I do, I'll go to San Jose and come back around and go back through the pass. As you know, if anybody knows what the pass is up in there, it's what I call the pass, but it's a very beautiful road that goes through the mountains. And then I'm going to go all the way up to Sacramento, Folsom, where Folsom Prison is, Rockland, California. Shout out Rockland. So I'm going to be all up through that area, Roseville. I'm gonna leave there and go up to Lake Tahoe. And then I'll go across to Reno to Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City over to Wyoming, and down to one of my towns that I lived in a long time. I consider it a home as well, but Fort Collins, Colorado, shout out. They don't like it probably because they're a liberal college predominantly, but hey, you know, they're going to have to eat it up. Colorado State's my alumni, so they're going to have to accept me whether they want to or not. But I love Fort Collins, where my manager lives and her husband, and also one of my buddies, Brad, that I go on podcasts with all the time. So Fort Collins, got a lot of buddies out there still, a lot of good friends. So I'm going to go out there and hang out there, and if you're in Fort Collins, or if you're in Cheyenne or Laramie or Denver, I'll hop down to Denver more than likely.